Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, and today is Technology Thursday. Welcome. Wow, we're all taking it in from the debate last night. Thank you for coming in. The debate was a net loss for Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg appeared to be uninteresting to most people. And the outtakes of that pretty much are synopsized in, is he really going to put $1 billion or more into his campaign if he can't pull a wow moment? And the best he could do is claim he built businesses and nobody else has. Bernie never worked till he was 40 years old, became mayor of Burlington, Vermont. Yeah, a lot of the people in the race seemed a little green under the collar and very nervous. Elizabeth Warren was always screaming. Amy Klobuchar recovered from not knowing the name of the president of Mexico the previous day and did a fairly good job, but her showing was in the low fourth place. Pete Buttigieg didn't shave. His entire face was, it's the 5 o'clock shadow that lost to John F. Kennedy when Nixon was unshaved. He lost the debate because of that unshaven look. But when you look at their politics and you look at everything they said, Bernie came off unsure of how he's going to pay for the $25 trillion Medicare for All plan he's talking about. And what really bothered me about Bernie is he acts like we're not getting any medical care right now. Nobody's getting cared for in America, when quite the opposite's the case. If any one of you is really sick, you can go to any ER in America and get cared for, no matter what your financial condition. So don't let the Democrats BS you, okay? I was pitching a simple plan that we already have in place. It's already paid for. Medicaid for all, I called it. And I think when you look at the overall benefits of that, we're already doing a good job. We need to reduce the cost of healthcare. And by bringing in mobile medical units, we'll be able to do that. These units will provide guaranteed healthcare across the country at a low cost. The Democrats don't have anything near this idea. Trump talked about this like it was his idea in 2016 and never, ever implemented it. And I warned Trump and everyone else. I said Mitch McConnell wasn't going to overturn Obamacare, and nobody was. Nobody was going to repeal it. Will the government bring out a pandemic tax? You got to wonder if this fear of the coronavirus is reaching the point where it's turned into a psyops to get us all to get vaccinations. That's what some people think is going on. But we just got a picture from Wuhan that's shocking. Now, the conspiracy theory that this is a bioweapon, not even a virus, it's something even worse, is still very possible. Look at the fish outside of Wuhan and watch their behavior.
看到这种情况吗？钓鱼人在那里捡鱼呢，捉鱼，免费的啊，不要钱的，直接捡。能捉鱼的事情全部敲得，全部敲得啊！今天在新河桥啊，新河桥这个地里嘛，鱼疯了啊，直接捡呐，朋友回来捡呐，哈哈，全部都敲的啊！来，看到吗？看到生蚝了吗？哇哦，见过这种生蚝吗？
What the hell is this? Okay, I don't know what that is. The herring do that when they spawn in shallow waters too? Okay, so if we can't identify if this is related to the virus, that's great. But okay, maybe they're just spawning. Okay, thanks for sharing. Lots of fish out there, yeah. It couldn't be that they're hit with a bioweapon that's affecting their neuromuscular system. Oh no, that's impossible. Yeah, it could be biowarfare. The very fact that there was a bioweapons lab in Wuhan implies that China wanted to develop weapons to kill people, if not the world, which shows you why we shouldn't have China as our First Nation trading status. Hi, Mad Dog. I am here. And it's not Shaky Dave. You've been banned. Thank you. All right. So bringing forth ideas that will help the country is what we're all about. Donald Trump is all about patting his pocket And he literally has done a good job, made almost $500 million since he started, rigging things for him. Makes money on the Secret Service. He makes money. People coming to Washington, they stay in his hotel, which he uses a loaned USPS office to operate his hotel. Makes no sense at all that we would allow him to do that. But anyway, Trump has made nearly 500 million, I'm going to say 350 million off of his presence as a president. And he's into protecting anybody who's close to him. I actually agree with Donald Trump on a couple issues. One, it's definitely in his best interest to be lenient with Roger Stone and even consider a pardon. And he can pardon him right now ahead of the trial. So he's not doing that. He says he won't pardon Roger Stone for now. But in my opinion, Roger Stone was just a throwaway prosecution that Mueller put together at the last minute to suppress 7% of the redacted area of the 448 pages that Robert Mueller put together of the Russian interference in our election. I think Robert Mueller did everything he could to stop that from becoming a felonious report. Stopping short of exonerating Donald Trump, Robert Mueller put together a kind of a paltry attempt at getting information. He never prosecuted Paul Manafort in the second trial, which shows that he was avoiding the information that Manafort had on the oligarchs giving money to Donald Trump over the past 5-6 years through buying property that doubled and tripled the cost in Miami. All that information never made to the headlines. So it's very obvious to me that the Democrats are going to have to put together a second impeachment article, or a third rather, and a fourth article possibly. I would recommend an article of impeachment for cheating in the election, which we then use the 448 pages unredacted now that Stone's been looked at again and his trial is over. If Roger Stone goes back to trial, they'll try to redact that information again. But we haven't even seen what was in that redacted no one has seen it. So it's very strange, the hiding that's going on in Washington, which further supports my argument that the two-party system is deep state. Donald Trump is deep state. The Democrats are deep state. They're not doing enough to stop the corruption of Russian oligarchs in our election process. I didn't put ketchup in my pasta primavera at all. No. We started with onions, and we went from onions to the zucchini, but then we put the oysters with all the juice in there to steam fry. And then we added butter. And then I took a package of cheese from the Annie's Organic mac and cheese package. I put that on there and boiled it up rapidly. And added more spices like dill and coriander. And then I made the pasta separately and then threw it all together. Boom. And then topped it with Parmesan. It's good. It's going to be a nice... We usually take a whole week to eat something like that, if not longer. I only cook pasta once a week, and you happen to catch that usually on Thursdays. So Trump was hell-bent on finding out about Hillary before he was president. Now he's won. He's no longer even after her. Exactly, gets 9955. That's the problem. I eat pasta. I eat organic pasta whenever I can, but it is fattening. So you have to hold back on how much you eat. But a little bit of pasta won't hurt you. Yeah, Mueller has got nothing really good out of that report. He got a lot of money. He apparently just signed off on a bunch of documents. He didn't even know that Jared Kushner had tried to reach out to the Kremlin before the election to get a secret communication. When asked about it in the testimony stage, Robert Mueller said he didn't know anything about it. It was in the news. The NSA reported that Jared Kushner was trying to open up a secret line of communication with the Kremlin before the election. I mean, that should have been front row center. No ketchup. Unless you want to take this to Vietnam and serve it to your Vietnamese family, then add ketchup, because they like a lot of ketchup in Vietnam. Yeah, and the Hunter Biden thing, he'll never prosecute. Donald Trump has done no prosecution of anybody in the Democratic Party, and now he's acting like William Barr is the problem William Barr has covered Donald Trump's ass since he started. And now Trump is toying with the idea of, throwing him under the bus. But anyway, giving Rod Blagojevich a complete pardon was a good thing. Rod had already served a lot of time in jail, and he didn't need to. The whole thing was a slam against Rod Blagojevich. Similarly, Roger Stone didn't do anything really criminally culpable. Lying was the most he did, so community service would have been at the very maximum I would have given him. That's right. Primavera means garden vegetables. That's right. And it came out in the 1970s in California. The recipe was a kind of a big explosion. People were saying, hey, have you tried pasta primavera? But it's definitely a great way to deal with spring vegetables. And I added shrimp and oysters today to this pasta. Prima donna. Okay, what else is going on? This woman has been accused of killing her children, and she's also being looked at in the killing of 3 other people. This Lori Vallow Daybell has been arrested finally. They knew that her children were missing 20, 30 days ago. They had an order to make them appear. She split in December with her husband to Hawaii from Idaho, and she's finally been arrested. They say she could be in a cult, a doomsday cult, and that the children, we don't know what happened to them, so this looks like very much like an expanding story of possible murder. The mother of 2 missing Idaho children has been arrested in Kauai, Hawaii. They've confirmed that Lori Vallow Daybell has been arrested on a $5 million warrant from Idaho. She's charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She was also charged with resisting or obstructing officers in criminal solicitation to commit a crime in contempt of court, willful disobedience of a court order, and the Kauai PD had not confirmed that Lori's husband, Chad Daybell, has been arrested. Vallow Daybell is 47. She's arrested in connection to the investigation of her 2 children missing. Now, until they can produce a body, they can't charge her with murder. So it's a very dicey situation here. But the fact that they finally got her into the jail is a good thing, and her husband should be looked at as a possible criminal as well. Well, in this particular case, she couldn't present her kids. The grandmother was concerned, showed the kids, and she wouldn't do that, didn't meet a court order. And to this day, we still don't know what happened to the kids. So if the kids are alive, great. But if the kids are dead, this woman's going to be charged with murder. Well, try a seafood diet where you see food and then eat it. Yeah. Well, running to Hawaii doesn't make anybody guilty. I mean, look at Barack Obama. He goes to Hawaii to pretend like he was born there. Everyone knew that people like Barack Obama got into the country illegally through Hawaii and fake birth certificates because Hawaii was handing them out like candy in the 1960s. I knew that when I was a kid. We even heard when Barack Obama used to talk about being born in Kenya. Believe it or not, when Barack Obama first started back in talking about the presidency, he talked about being born in Kenya. So did his wife. I can't believe people are doing the opposite of what makes sense. It's almost like the world is upside down. No, this is not a toupee. This is my hair. Is that okay if I wear my hair? Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming in and hanging out with me tonight. We've got a full show for you. Russia backs Trump's reelection. Duh. And they fear the Democrats will exploit its support. Okay. If Russia was smart, they would say that you shouldn't vote for Donald Trump, but apparently they aren't too smart to cover their ass over having contaminated our election. Mike Bloomberg jokes about brutal Democratic debate debut, and people are wondering, does he have anything new to offer? And no, he doesn't. He didn't really show well in front of everybody. He was booed after refusing to release women from NDAs. I didn't know that. I think he did marginal. If Bloomberg wants to throw more money at the race, he better take on a new running mate. If Bloomberg was smart, he would back down of the race and give it to Hillary Clinton and say, go for it, Hillary. I'll be your VP. That would be the move to make. Yeah, that would totally mix this race up. Oh, definitely. People want a woman in president more than they want a gay man as president. So a lot of the Democrats who will vote out of guilt will vote for a woman before they vote for a gay man. So there are a lot of Clinton voters out there still that would easily get her back up in the ranking at 50-50. Remember, Donald Trump did nothing to target her or her history. No prosecution whatsoever, yet he had 3 years to do it. So if Clinton got back in the race right now, it would be a game changer across the board. Yeah, totally. And she wouldn't take VP position. She'd go for the presidency. Anyway, that's just my theory that could happen if Bloomberg wants to parlay his money and keep it rolling. Former Jeffrey Epstein pal Leslie Waxner steps down as CEO of Victoria's Secret's parent company after it became very clear that Jeffrey was using his access to Victoria's Secret models to solicit young girls for sex acts. All right. Leslie Wexner stepped down today as chairman and CEO of the retail giant because of his longtime relationship with sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein. Wexner is 82. He'll still hold the title of chairman emeritus once the sale of a majority stake in L Brands, which includes Pink and Bed Bath & Beyond. Or excuse me, Bath and Body Works. My mistake. So a lot of these things are, they come with retirement. Anyway, Jeffrey Epstein's doing great. We heard that he's got back. He got back to his island and he's comfortable. Yeah, he's doing great. We had a picture of Jeffrey Epstein outside his island when he, 20 days after they said he died. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. Right. I'm kidding, of course, yes. But I'm not, really. I mean, I think Jeffrey Epstein's alive. I don't think it's a hard issue to discuss, considering the photograph of his dead body showed somebody else. We have to assume that most of the people in our government think that we're all brain dead. Yeah, that's more than the likely thing. I mean, we still haven't seen any real progress on Ghislaine Maxwell being charged with anything either. She was seen here with Michael Bloomberg in 2007. There she is. Let me see if I can get the pictures of Epstein back here. Problem with having a lot of things going on in the show is oftentimes we are overwhelmed with things in front of us. Here we go. Yeah, this is a picture that was taken just 20 days after he died. And you can't tell me this is not him. And he was wearing his signature light blue shirt, which he always wears. He wore it with Donald Trump in 1992 here, just 2 years before Donald Trump allegedly raped Katie, the 13-year-old girl, with Jeffrey Epstein watching her. Now that allegation never panned out. Katie said that Donald Trump threatened her life and she dropped the charges. Yeah. But here's that signature blue shirt he likes. So there he is, 20 days after he died. We're supposed to think this is some sort of a story that we should just cover up. And guess what? Epstein's bank account has had withdrawals. Yeah. We've discovered some activity on Epstein's bank account. So, well, I believe that a 13-year-old girl should have her day in court even if she's 32 years old. I think she should be protected, and the government should have stepped up and said, hey, you're being threatened by the Trumps. We'll put you under protective custody. But nobody did anything because Trump was president at the time. You see what's going on? Yeah, she sued him twice, not once, but twice, claiming she was raped at 13 with Jeffrey Epstein watching. Well, the thing about Jeffrey Epstein that we have to look at is, here's a security cam that came out during the '07 when an investigation went full forward, and Acosta, the prosecutor, our former labor secretary, said that he was told to back off because Jeffrey Epstein was in the intelligence area. Okay, so no charges were filed, but this is the picture off of the remote cameras. Look at this picture here. That looks like about 8 girls, and I'm sure we could even sharpen the resolution up, but that looks like about 8 girls. They might even be, without clothes. I don't know. I can't see anything, but just blurred objects. But you can see the picture of the dangling penis in the background there. This was in a dungeon at Epstein Island. Look at that. These girls are all sitting on black buckets, 5-gallon buckets. I mean, what the hell's going on here? Why wouldn't our government do a full investigation and get skip loaders out there and dig up? Hey, try to ask relevant questions here. Thanks. Why wouldn't we go out there and get cadaver dogs and look into this? Yeah. I don't know. Government looks like they're covering everything up.
We'll be right back.
Conversations That Matter is a not-for-profit program made possible.
Death of carbon. Patrick Moore takes issue with the NGOs over climate, genetically modified organisms, and the truth about carbon. We've got that tonight in our show. That'll be fun.
Possible thanks to the charitable support of the following and from viewers like you. Please visit Conversations That Matter.
Okay, that'll be fun. I'll add it to the show. Thanks for the link. Bloomberg and Soros are investing $500 million in the election. I believe it. Okay, Bloomberg didn't do too well. No, he spent over $400 million to stand up there and act like a little idiot with no new ideas. Did he really expect to wow the population with his old leathery lizard-like face? I mean, seriously. I agree the secrecy of our government has gotten way out of control, David. It's time to protest. I agree. Why do you think I've been running this political effort for no personal gain for my, 11 years now? Been censored across the board in multiple areas. Our hit counters have remained the same. It's unbelievable. Our subscription numbers are the same over 9 years. Follower numbers the same on Twitter, if not less. They're purposely censoring me on all levels, trying to keep the American people from fixing this corrupt government. The most feared man in America during this time would be an honest man, and that would be me. The most feared man in a corrupt society is an honest man. We've got a big problem, and if you want to get behind me, I'll fix it for you, but it may cost me my life, but I'm prepared to do that because I can't see living in a world that is so corrupt and giving that legacy to our children without setting us in the right direction and fixing this. Now, I can point us in the right direction to make this country better for the future, but you got to give me the power of the presidency to do it. I can't do it as an average person sitting from my home talking every night. We can certainly get the word out, but we're going to need some power to make this happen, and I've got to do it in a way that makes everybody happy, as many people as possible. All right. Another reason for a third party, because everybody's fighting right now. More than 12 million people are bracing for a snowstorm in Charlotte, Raleigh. Winter weather alerts hit the southeast. North Carolina is going to happen. Snowstorm on the way. Welcome to climate change Christmas, or actually winter time. Coronavirus treatment in isolation, one U.S. patient's story. 2 passengers die after leaving a chaotic quarantine cruise ship. Wow. You know, Trump put this cruise ship evacuation on board. He literally blew it. He violated a perfectly good quarantine, forcing people off the ship for no reason. The death toll from the coronavirus outbreak climbed to 2,118 in China. The current number of infected is 76,212. That's people showing symptoms. Asymptomatic would be much more than that. Yeah. Money talks, really? Well, we never did anything with money because we didn't get any donations except for a small amount. Yeah, and because people don't understand the need to donate to America's Third Party, we've been doing it without money for a long, long time. And the elitists never thought that we'd be able to do this, but they never really calculated the power of the internet. And that's what we use to its fullest, and we'll continue to use it. As we get censored, we open up in other areas. Ukrainian animals are being killed. They stoned buses, bringing countrymen evacuated from Wuhan to coronavirus quarantine. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought you were talking about animals. RT has a story about Ukrainian villagers stoning the buses, bringing people from an evacuated Wuhan facility during a quarantine. People aren't taking this, lightly. They're very concerned. No updates on Calm. Believe 2 dead in Calm. We've got 5 people in Spokane right now that just happened to arrive, Washington, and they got right into a quarantine because they all presented with symptoms. Elizabeth Warren got $3 million in donations after the last debate. Yeah, she's connected to a lot of people that she did favors for when she ran the Consumer Protection Bureau. Oh yeah, she's all about connected to corporate money. She says she's not, though. No, I don't have a brother running against me. There's a man impersonating somebody claiming to be my brother. He's violating the law. Nobody's running in my family except me. The mortality rate has jumped to 3.86% now. Now gradually climbing when it should be slowing down. I heard NPR today, and they said that the numbers are leveling out. It shows great promise that the World Health Organization is beginning to downgrade the danger of this virus. Now, if you go with a conspiracy theory that this is way worse than anything they're talking about, then you'd believe that they're covering everything up. If you go with the theory that they're pushing this as a big, huge, dangerous pandemic because they want to force us to vaccinate, those people have some serious, credible concerns as well. They believe a lot of the photographs we've seen are faked. I still argue that, yeah, again, stay relevant to the show and don't talk about my family or you'll be muted. Thank you. Who is asking for $675 million? I don't trust who. The World Health Organization hasn't even made any comments about the dangers of cell phones other than to know that the director openly said that cell phones contribute to cancer. But the World Health Organization won't say that. Come on. Who's hiding who? You got a text about you should attend the doctor's surgery and stay at home for 14 days if I show symptoms of the coronavirus. Well, do you have symptoms of the coronavirus, soul child? All right. I'm way down in the iVlog chat room. Let me see. Bloomberg never had a chance. Bernie Sanders hasn't combed his hair in years. Right. That's true. Bernie Sanders can't come up with a way in which he's going to pay $25 trillion out for Medicare for all. It's ridiculous. Okay, you got one, a British Airways 737. Another one, Super Dave. Peloton is giving free bikes to disappointed Flywheel customers. Okay.
Big welcome to all my first time.
I think I'll pass on that. I'm not really into Flywheel. I'm not going to collect that. Mark Zuckerberg reportedly made a Facebook employee blow dry his armpits before speeches like normal human beings. Blow dry your armpits? Okay, this is too weird. Yeah. For a guy who says he doesn't care if people don't like him, he's certainly starting to not be likable. In 2003, a totally not all creepy Harvard student by the name of Mark Zuckerberg rounded up a bunch of pictures of girls on campus and uploaded them to a website that allowed visitors to pick the ones they found most attractive before he was forced to pivot ever so slightly when the school threatened to kick him out because of it. He eventually found a new venture the following year in the form of the Facebook, which was designed to allow people in the university to have a dedicated place to interact with each other online. The same people he called dumb Fs when he realized how much personal information he had at his disposal. People forget the Winklevoss twins created Facebook, and that Mark settled out of court for $160 million, and that's all, and then kept going on making billions. Okay. Someone says, there's perhaps no other alleged human who's capable of making me more physically uncomfortable than the Zook. When he talks, and I fear that I spend too long looking into his lifeless eyes, dead eyes like a doll's eyes. He'll begin to drain away my soul to use as his lifeblood.
Hey everyone, we are live from my backyard where I am smoking a brisket and some ribs. I'm making meats now. Smoking these meats here. Our little meat smoking. It's smoking. So I'm the meat chef. Yeah, someone asked me, do I smoke meat? Smoking meat. Smoking these meats. Smoking meats earlier in the day. Smoking these meats.
Anyway, I don't want to feature Mark Zuckerberg, but for him asking people to blow dry their armpits is absolutely the most ridiculous thing ever. One person said, did I ever tell you about the time I blow dried Mark Zuckerberg's armpits? Oh, okay. It was his own armpits. Well, of course. Is that a big deal? I mean, come on. Anyway. Bloomberg ran because he thought he could do what Trump did. I know. Bloomberg didn't really get a positive feeling. People didn't really want him. Okay. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren's really going after the minority vote that Bernie's already accomplished. Okay. Well,
awesome. The Periscope show's working now.
Yeah, I wrote 3 times to them, and they finally brought it back, which is good. Thank you. All right. Well, Sarah's going to give me a little break and digest some news so I can make some dinner to digest here.
I wish I was like that, Daryl. I ate my dinner already, David.
Oh, you did good.
I was too hungry.
Oh, you had some already?
Yeah.
Oh, good,
It
good.
was good.
All right, cool. You had a couple shrimp?
I had a bunch of shrimp.
Oh, you can have 2.
Well, you know, you're 6. I heard you saying.
Well, I mean, that
distribute
was...
up to 6 people, and each person gets 1 shrimp. 1 shrimp! Don't take any more.
They were big shrimp. Okay, I think we're good. Let me get you some water or something.
No, it wasn't fun.
You're good? Okay, well, if you need anything, just holler. Okay, so... David! I'll bring you the video. Desktop region.
One day, yeah.
Oops.
One day you may wake up in a beautiful house, in a beautiful community, with a beautiful man, and ask yourself, how did I get here?
Exactly. Talking heads. How did I get here? Windows Defender works with online viruses, not, viruses in real life.
Ha.
Big difference. So we'll definitely talk about some things tonight. I just can't imagine it being more of a lackluster evening for such an important time in our country's history. It seems that all the buzz about the impeachment just completely deflated everybody's political views. How vermicompost market is vermicompost is demanding globally, according to a new research report. Good. Get the soil back to health. I'll be back.
Yeah. These castings have been shown to contain reduced levels of contaminants and higher saturation of nutrients than organic materials before vermicomposting. I know. I would never consider myself a gardener until I started vermicomposting. And really, the reason I wanted to vermicompost is David was talking about his national composting plan, return the soil to health. And I said, well, think global, act local. If, why not just vermicompost in our school? And now it's already expanded a lot in our school. Sliders TV series, season 2, episode 5 predicted the Trump presidency. Wow. Microplastics in soil are stunting growth of earthworms, key player in healthy soil and ecosystems. I would agree with that. The stunting growth of earthworms, key player in healthy soil and okay. Thank you, Super Dave. I have to keep moving all these links that Max gives me over here. Yeah, Centrist in our headline. Joe, you think climate change is a hoax? Okay. Hi, Daryl. I am doing very well. I woke up this week realizing I really love the community that I live in. I really do. It's just, and then I thought to myself, I would never even know that this great community exists if I never met David. So that's really good. All right. Good night, Tiddly Dee. Work comes early. Yes, it does, especially if you're on the East Coast. 3 hours earlier than those of us on the West Coast. Yeah, David already boiled the pasta and now he is serving it. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, a lot of people like to take people's data. Cranky Beans, you're giving us all 4 different YouTube things? I don't think so. Oh wait, those are Mango Worm, Horror YouTube, Worm Composting, How to Make a Wormery YouTube, and Compost Worm Farming YouTube. Alright, very good. And difference of compost worm types, tigers, red wrigglers, and European night crawlers for worm farms. How to make a worm trap for collecting composting worms from your local environment. Yeah. Hello, Anita. How are you? I'm sorry to hear that, Joe Denete. I like that vermicompost right in your garden, making a worm bucket or worm tunnel. Yeah. I don't think that releasing the non-disclosure agreements, I say no. I say no. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I know what Elizabeth Warren says about it. I tend to say that I tend to believe the people entered into those non-disclosure agreements for a reason, whether it be money or whatever reason, and I don't I think, yeah, I don't. You think their arms were twisted? You think anyone should be able to reveal any, like, confidential information? You think it depends on the circumstances? Well, I would say that that's a non-disclosure agreement is people entering into a confidential agreement to keep things confidential. You think POTUS candidates? Well, wait, you're not talking about POTUS candidates when you're talking about release the non-disclosure agreements. You're talking about the people that signed the agreements with the POTUS candidates. Father saying with Elizabeth Warren's student loan plan, it wouldn't be good for that family. Is mycelium is mushrooms, right? That is some interesting topics. So he had some interesting topics to interest us. Bees on a sugar water diet became toxic. Bees fed mycelium. Became immune to pesticides and viruses. That's very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that with me. There's a large mycelium mat that creates meadows from old forests in Oregon and Washington. Oh, mycelium is amazing. The fruit of mycelium is mushrooms. I did not realize that. It makes sense, though. I knew they were related to mushrooms somehow. I just didn't know how. The USDA released the 2018 Census of Aquaculture results. There's definitely some aquaculture. I never knew that's a term for it, aquaculture rather than agriculture. I always called it fish farming, but yeah. All right, good night, Anita. Yeah, billions of dollars in aquaculture. I wonder how fish would react with mycelium. Yeah, farming the seas instead of, yeah, just fishing out the seas. I don't think mycelium is necessarily a close cousin to penicillin. Penicillin, I understand, came from a fungus that was on bread, grew on bread. I'm not sure, Bug Chaser. Is there someone in particular you want me to unban? He claims to do it weekly, but I don't think that's always the case. Bees make nests in logs that are decaying, and then they get their immunity from disease because the fungus in the decaying logs actually protects them. Wow. So true. When we remove old logs and deforest, that takes away the bee immunity. Wow, that is very interesting, Sammy. Oh, penicillin can be grown on fruit and bread? Okay, thank you. Yeah, he really does not like that person. I'll unban you. Not Bug Chaser, but your other ones not signed in. Okay. I'll let David play the video.
Yeah, I don't want to play anything bad. I mean, you don't have to play anything bad.
In 1990, Bloomberg LP employees created a book of his offensive quotes. I see that, but I kind of feel like, I mean, I didn't listen to the audio, Shrimp Chef, but I kind of feel like playing the video is just adding credence to the people that are doing the bullying. So that's what I'm going to do, is not play the video for everyone. Yeah, I wonder if Warren has any non-disclosure agreements. I don't know. I agree, Daryl. It's great except for the trolls. I'm not confused. I was just reading some of the Bloomberg quotes. You want a link to the Von Live tab? Or this is where I watch the Von Live chat. Well, what David does want to do is $500 a month for every U.S. adult citizen, 377. So you can spend that $500 on HBO if you really want to. Warren has the backing of 5 credit card companies. That's pretty funny. I do work hard, and I do wish for peace at the end of the day. Warren does have many problems. I would say all the candidates have a lot of problems. Okay, no problem. I don't mind if it doesn't sanitize the HTML. It's only doing it for Twitter links, I see. Or the Twitter is the only one that's not sanitizing the HTML, and I gotcha. Oh my goodness. Like, how did that person even do that? I agree that we do need to hear more plans, not listen to flowery, vague speeches. Our plan, of course, David would like to have mobile medical units. I'd love to have a national health plan. I know, you're right, Bernie seems to want everything for free. I don't know if it's just men that get all pumped up about politics. There are certain people that get all pumped up about politics. Yeah, exactly. Free after taxes, and then the taxes are huge. The thing is to get highly experienced, competent, specialized doctors that want to travel in the MMUs. That's not necessarily always the case. There's also telemedicine where people, they can remotely work and they can look at you through a video camera and diagnose you and talk to you.
Hey, yeah, so I left some bowls out there for you if you want to make 3 meals out of that, and then just leave me 1 shrimp. I don't, no big
Okay.
deal.
No, Prax, I don't think that's a good idea. No.
Enjoy. Wow. I arrived. Okay, we got a lot of things to talk about, obviously. Chat room's very lively tonight.
Yeah, it is.
I was watching it in the other room. Looked good. That interesting stuff on mushrooms and bumblebees. Wow. Mushrooms can be... I heard mushrooms were a pesticide, or just as dangerous. Basil. Basil's a pesticide. Some scientists claim that basil had just as many toxins in it as pesticides back in the 1990s. No, it's not okay to charge $300 for a college class book. I would recommend a freeze or at least a maximum of 20% markup on books at college bookstores. And if I found out there were kickbacks from the companies buying them at a higher wholesale price, I'll penalize them and I'll make sure that those universities won't be able to cash Pell Grants, which will put a lot of young people in a bad situation. They'll have to move to a community college near there. But I don't want to, impact the students. I just don't want people to gouge people on the cost of a book. I don't eat unhealthy. I eat really good food. I hardly eat that many carbohydrates. So if you want me to eat more carbohydrates, Hot Rails, you got the wrong guy. I make these meals for pack away for, refrigerator, lunches, whatnot. I don't hardly eat anything. I do Tai Chi in the morning. I would do Falun Gong, but I don't know what that's all about. I know that it can get you arrested in China. That, and of course, having no mask on. No, I can't, Bengalitis. Howie was a very bad person last night. Yeah, Trump is trying to cut back unemployment benefits, and he's making sure 8 million people don't get food stamps. So a lot of people are hanging out at the local food bank. Yeah, I know people that live in front of the medical center at the local hospital and hope that they can dig through the garbage to pick up some medical waste to eat at night. Pretty sad situation. A lot of people are barely able to eat, and they stand by the medical centers because they know they're going to die. So they're starving from eating, or all kinds of diseases, or who knows. But with all the hospital food going to waste, you wonder how many people are standing outside waiting to die when they could be eating out of the hospital food in the dumpster. You don't have any concern about that, do you? You're fine. You're living in your house. Everything's great. But if you're near death from living on the street in L.A., yeah, Eric Garcetti is not going to help much. You're an Aikido master, 10th degree. Wow. You beat up an MMA fighters with wrist moves every day. Wow. You're amazing, Rancid Chep, whatever your name is. Why is nobody talking about the possibility of terrorists getting these samples from the China virus? I was. I told you there was a big fight in the market where they sold bat soup. Allegedly 12 men died fighting over this vacuole, which then broke, and then it released all throughout Wuhan. That's why they locked down the city and virtually kept them in their apartments. They're all locked in their apartments. The city's like, it's under siege right now. Millions of people are impacted. 11 million people were either evacuated or locked into their apartments, so their food supplies are going to be an issue. Xi Jinping has the biggest challenge ahead of him he's ever had as president of China. Really, you know the ardent Democrat that sang the national anthem at Trump's rally? Wow, good for you. I guess she took the money over the alliance with the Democratic Party. So Trump is buying Democrats. Oh, I think I'll just buy all your votes, every one of you. I'll give you $300 to $500, and that's what he said to black people at rallies near him. Black people were getting $300 to $500 just to go to his rallies, so it looked more interracial. North Korea, what to do? Well, ironically, North Korea is free of the coronavirus. No reported cases of North Korea. Yeah, so what should I do about a country that wants to protect itself and have its own personal control over its own people? Gee, there's not much to do with that country. I mean, they're protected from the coronavirus. How can you not like that? Here's Pyongyang. No, there's no coronaviruses in Pyongyang. Hang on. We have evidence of, nope, there's no red lights there, see? Absolutely no coronaviruses there. And there's a big red light in the middle of a town called South Korea. 104 people have it in South Korea. 16 have recovered, 1 death. That's not good. But again, let's stop with the constant corona hype, okay? I mean, I've been doing this enough. A lot of people are really, they don't want to wave the flame of fear. I don't, Howie. How dare you come in here and say that about the cooking? Wow. Shrimp is considered a very tasty product and makes a wonderful, man, it really, you know, if you want to have pasta come alive, add shrimp taste, because obviously the taste is just, it grabs you. I couldn't believe how tasty that pasta was. And then you could make a cold salad out of it and add a few more vegetables and make yourself a cold pasta salad. It's so good. I think there's something wrong with that guy that comes in here. No, I don't think so. Trump's going to have to face the music when he loses the election in 2020. He'll have to face New York's prosecution for tax evasion. Even though he'll be in Florida, they'll have to extradite Trump to New York to do the tax evasion thing. Trump is trying to muscle New York into not doing that, dropping the charges, claiming he's not going to fund special access to immigrants. More quid pro quo from the Trump camp. The real question is, when are the Republicans going to be fed up themselves with the fact that Trump hasn't prosecuted anybody that he said he was going to? Hillary Clinton could get back in the race right now. I have a feeling she could do really well, too. I would say Bloomberg Clinton would be a really good ticket. Yeah. Yeah, that's the ticket. Here's Bloomberg. Here he is with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, what if Hillary went back running as president again? Yeah, she's perfectly capable, or at least her clone is capable. I've seen her clone. The clone looks good. She could, pose in a bathing suit. She's really got her body under control. Hillary has a clone. Yeah, we have proven that. Oh, many of you don't realize that they've been doing cloning for some time, but you don't know that because you're still in 2020. Today is February 20th, 2020. Baywatch. Yeah, she has changed over the years. I will give her that. We'll show you Baywatch now and Baywatch then. I know. Things change. You know, when women get older, they get a little heavier, you know. They lose their beauty sometimes. Well, let's be clear. So, Hillary, would you like to run again? Yeah. I think you would. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool if she ran. She could run as president. And, well, that happens. So you do too. Well, this will be a big matchup here between who would you vote for, Donald Trump or a spastic Hillary? Now, say the clone is much more calm. And they're kind of like Ghislaine Maxwell, who no one's seen for a long time. Here's two pictures, the two faces of Hillary. Look at that. That's trippy. Now, if Hillary became a transgender and decided, you know, she wanted to be a man, she certainly would fit in. Well, what do you think, guys? I'm back! What difference at this point does it make? I'll let you look at that for a while to try to determine what's going on. It was not bat soup. It turned out to be a vial. A vial. Hey, look, you got Donald Trump working for Vladimir Putin right now, so, you know, you might want Hillary. She didn't get along with Putin, the best I could tell, so maybe Hillary might be your gal. Okay, let's get a good match here for Bloomberg, who did not do well in the recent debate. Can you help? No, I can't help you. Elizabeth Warren can't stop screaming. The new Hillary will be better than ever. Look at that. There she will be. She'll be kind of butch, and she'll say, I think I want a sex change. So we'll have the first female transgender. Well, no, we had FLOTUS with Michelle Obama and her penis. All right, well, I think that could be a winning ticket. It'd be very difficult to see who would win in this race. The Down syndrome guy, the billionaire who can't really come up with any his get up and go, got up and went, or the new and improved Hillary Trump. Whatever. Okay, we're done here. No, I've never been a gay woman. You've been banned. It's not about being silly. It's about being relatively lighthearted, considering how cruel and sick this world is. Trump pulled these two beautiful people off of the perfectly good quarantine, and they ended up dying. 2 passengers die after leaving the Caddick quarantined cruise ship. The death toll for the corona outbreak climbed to 2,118 in China. Here's the latest for Thursday. We'll go to our NBC affiliate.
Just as hundreds of passengers disembarked from the troubled Diamond Princess, officials in Japan confirmed 2 elderly passengers infected with the coronavirus died after their voyage on the ship. With 634 confirmed cases, American Arnold Hopland is still on board after his wife Regina tested positive.
I mean, it was just a disaster waiting to happen. I feel that we're sitting in a petri dish waiting to get infected.
Amid concern of a global pandemic, the coronavirus has now reached at least 30 countries and territories with more than 75,000 reported cases. But China claims the spread of the virus may be slowing.
It was very difficult to be absolutely certain. We would hope that at this point in the outbreak, they are being completely transparent.
With 30 confirmed cases in the U.S., many are being treated at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, whose state-of-the-art biocontainment facility was used during the Ebola crisis in 2014.
I'm fine in quarantine. I've got my laptop, access to the internet.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Americans who escaped the virus epicenter have now finished their quarantine, free to go home. A long journey finally coming to an end. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Okay, so
As snow sweeps into the south tonight, emergency crews called to action.
Every part of our state is either under a winter weather advisory or a winter weather warning.
In North Carolina, residents gear up with supplies and school closures. Just today, more than 200 flights canceled and delayed. Emergency officials on high alert. Slick roads, a major concern.
Hope is not a course of action for us. We want to be leaning forward with resources in the event that there's stranded motorists.
Snow-covered interstates in Tennessee. Fast-falling snow, a rare sight for residents.
Okay, so people of the southeast are going to be experiencing some weird weather patterns, yeah. Winter again, yeah. Winter number 2. Came early and now it's coming late. Okay, we're not really late. I mean, we're still in winter stage. Well, the reality is we are the human race and we all lose if people die. That's the truth. We're all in this together, really. You can be a racist, but I'm not. You're a tourist. It's better than being a racist. Call from? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question, Johnny? Who are you? Johnny. Yeah, what's your question, Johnny? All right, dude. Don't call here again. Thanks a lot. Okay, we blocked that caller. You got to have a question ready when you call. If you don't have a question ready, that's the big problem. Start with a question. Use your brains. The remaining last brain cells you have left after fluoridating your head and basically dousing it with tap water. All right. Glad we could get together every night and talk. I know, it's exciting. So we talked a little bit about worms. Vermicompost market is demanding globally, according to a new research project. That's special. These things sell for $30 a pound. Red Wrigglers. And they are a cash crop for people who are growing them. Yeah, so if you grow worms in your backyard, you could actually make some money on it. We heard about that stop whammy. Well, you just have to get some diapers, get some pull-ups or some Depends or something like that. That'll help you with your urinary and fecal incontinence. Anyway, back to the worm bin. You know, it'd be great if the White House had kind of a, you know, some sort of a worm plan. Any kind of a worm plan, but nothing. Nothing to put worms in the ground. I mean, we could put worms right in the ground there and plant an organic garden. Be perfect. Mix up the worms, and the whole front yard could be an organic garden. We could produce enough food to help all the help houses in D.C. How about them apples? I'll bet if I did a soil sample, it'd come up with Roundup all over it. I'd have to import dirt from Mazatlan or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Russell. What's the question? Your question, please. Hello. Question. What's your question? All right. People just don't have any questions anymore. They just have this nonstop troll activity. Clinton fired his Surgeon General because she said masturbation was cool to do, not to get AIDS. I remember that. Boy, that's the good old days when the hypocrite Bill Clinton, who obviously had sex with Monica Lewinsky, even though he said, I never had sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. Oh, yeah. Well, remember this? He fired the beautiful Surgeon General who said, y'all just better masturbate to prevent getting AIDS. Jocelyn Elders served as Surgeon General of the United States from 1993 until her firing in late 1994. I remember that. It all happened so fast. A new documentary explores the history and enduring taboo of masturbation, including the curious case of Jocelyn Elders, the Surgeon General whose tenure came to an end after she just simply suggested that masturbation should be taught in schools. Well, it is a little weird to teach people to masturbate, Jocelyn. Yeah, I think you made a big mistake there. You've obviously said the wrong thing to the wrong people. In fact, Bill Clinton would never tolerate that. Now, Joe Biden, he is a different kind of guy. They finally retrofitted him with a way to not kiss women unnecessarily. Yes, can I help you? Ronnie, we're just going to block you, Ronnie. You sound like a real jerk. Isn't that nice? So Joe could be ready to go at any time. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, you got somebody serious here. Okay. What's your... Hey, we got a real caller here, is it? I can hear you. Yeah, what's up? You got to hang on. Repeat. Go ahead.
I have a real question. That's right, sir. All right. So, as president, what will you do to enhance vocational programs for those with disabilities? That seems to be a big problem, especially around the southeastern area.
Wow.
It's been a big subject of the news lately down in Georgia.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, you got to be able to do things sitting down, and we've got a place for you at the Homestead Renewal Plan. You basically pick up a paintbrush. If you're in a wheelchair, you can do painting, and we can give you an actual job without, and vocational training on the side to learn about electricity, electrical hookup. You could fit into one of those categories too. Obviously, making $15 an hour to start is not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all. That's pretty good. The biggest thing too is I've heard that in some areas people are just struggling to get help. There's a big line for services and people are not getting the help that they need because obviously I guess it's not working.
Yeah, the system isn't working. Yeah, you're right. They've forgotten to actually give people a job while they're being trained. A lot of people who need money need to be trained and paid for their training. So it's a jump start to actually making money right away. If you train people at a cost of not making money, it's their time is valuable. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And another thing too was that I personally taught to vocational rehab because I'm on the autism spectrum, and the big thing was they promote that they're supposed to be helping those with disabilities, yet I went through the system because I wanted to get through, start helping people do nonprofit management.
Right.
They won't fund that. They won't fund online classes. It's
right.
just a very restrictive box, and you have to fit within that box in order to get anything.
Wow.
Whether it is in your best interest or not.
Right, yeah, and you got to jump through hoops constantly. It's really like a challenge just to get help. Yeah. I see your point.
Right, yes. And the thing is, too, is I go to different conferences, autism conferences, too, and these places, these vocational rehabs in these other states, the worst thing of hearing that is that if I lived in these other states, I'd be able to get the help, but because people have to fit in a limited box, they don't have the opportunities down here.
Right.
And there's a big line. And there's a new executive director that the Governor Kemp, I think, has put with, that has been in some of the other departments up, that has been assigned to that department, so maybe we will finally see some real change.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, go ahead.
But there are parents that are very mad at that system right now, that,
right.
I'm sure there's a lot of people doing the best they possibly can with it, but at the same time, we need help.
Yeah.
We want help. We want more services. We want more programs because ultimately inclusion matters.
Right. We in our area we have a program that gets people Head Start who are autistic working in markets where they can start to learn, stocking and checking, and they start them out as just going out and getting carts, doing the basics, bagging
Absolutely.
stuff. And that's a real job that anybody, even autistic people, can do. I meet people at my local Trader Joe's who are autistic, and they are very successful making money. They're in there making money 8 hours a day, and they find a place that they're really good at, and they focus on that one thing, and they're really good at what they do. So
I've heard that's a good company too, so that's awesome to hear. But
Yeah.
And a lot of these states, there are more services that are definitely needed, more programs, instead of having the preconceived idea of what those with autism can and cannot accomplish from
Right.
an employer, really just a general opportunistic standpoint. We need to put those perceptions aside so that we can create a better future for everybody, and that's the big thing, and
Right.
why I'm trying to do what I'm doing.
Good. Well, you're on the right track to finding a place that's a good niche for you that you'll like to do, that you'll enjoy, and you'll get paid for it. So finding the right match is the key.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks for
Sure,
calling in,
definitely.
Sky Scion. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a good one.
Have a
Call
good one.
anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. A real call. That's great. That makes me feel like it's time to relax.
This is some good shit.
There you go. I vicariously got the pleasure of that, just watching her do that, which is good. Right. Yes, hi Aaron, can I help you? Sure, go ahead. I'm not sure what your question is, Aaron. You gotta be able to, you might want to write it out in advance. Hey, yeah, somebody said, Dave, where's your spray? You know, it's not on me right now, so I'm thinking it's probably in the other room. I'm going to move on to another story and let you watch something other than worms and, you know, Jocelyn. Oh, God, what a sick-looking face, you know? This guy's, people say he doesn't care if people don't like him. Okay, we don't like you. Many people in Ukrainian villagers are stoning buses bringing countrymen evacuated from Wuhan to the coronavirus quarantine area. We got that. To recap, the CEO of Victoria's Secret, Leslie Wexner, is stepping down after his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein was made public.
The arena.
Bloomberg was awful.
They tore the skin off him. This was a disaster for Bloomberg.
It was hard to watch.
He was tone deaf on issue after issue.
Even when Warren was hitting him, he was watching the fist hit his face.
I don't think any Democrat is looking at that and going, that's the guy who's going to save us against Trump in November.
Last night was the Nevada Democratic debate, and I'm going to break down exactly how Michael Bloomberg got wrecked. Now, I will say this is going to be most of the breakdown is Michael Bloomberg getting destroyed. During my live stream tomorrow on Friday, I will be maybe showing more clips, including Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg going at it at times. But I think it's important here to focus on Michael Bloomberg because he was a newcomer to this stage. So far, the only way anybody even knows of Bloomberg is through his campaign ads. He's blanketing the airwaves, whether it's television, radio, the internet, with his campaign ads that are self-funded through his $50 billion. I think it's almost $60 billion at this point. I mean...
Yeah. I mean, we'll actually get to that a little later. We have a 30-minute video ahead for you regarding the debates, kind of a summation of what happened in the debate. Bloomberg did not win, didn't really make a big splash, so... Okay, I got it. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, man, it's like a day spa. It's fantastic. It's a Dave spa, is what it is. There may be an attack. We have a censoring going on, yeah. We've got numerous death threats tonight. I've had 3 death threats. Yes, can I help you? Hello? Knock, knock. Hey, yeah, don't call here anymore, okay? Thanks. All right. Yeah, they're coming up with instant phone numbers, and I block each one. Luckily for me, I've got an unlimited number of blocked numbers I can do. Okay, we did the winter storm. We did the woman who's now finally in custody after not presenting her children. her little kids. She and her husband were on a escape plan to Hawaii when they were arrested. She was arrested. Her husband's still there. I tweeted this today. I don't know. Sweatshops for children in Chinese areas does not bode well with me. I don't think we should be doing a lot of trade with China if they're going to behave like this. I'm off the air. Is video down? Yep, Randy, go ahead. What's your question? Oh, you can't stop me, man. I keep coming back. Don't worry. I'll be back. Okay, we got the yeah, we'll be back in just a second. Yeah, I'm getting flooded right now. They're attacking, DDoSing me. Hold, please. Public option for only $60 a month. Thank you. Yeah, we'll get back. We'll get this thing. They do this all the time. It's just what they do. Hurry. Okay, folks, we'll be right there in just a second. Hold, please. Yeah, that woman was just... And she didn't produce her kids in time. Very disturbing. Yep. So let me get that Twitter up and running. Yeah, go ahead and refresh, everybody. Here she is, Cult Mom. I wrote about it today. Cult Mom, still not charged. And they just charged her right after I posted this. The search for her two missing children continues. Family members say the couple are members of a dangerous doomsday cult. And then we'll go there, bring you more information on this terrible doomsday cult. Yeah, we need to get more information here. We're not happy with what we have here. Thank you. I'm here. I'm back. Refresh. Thanks, True Blue.
Call from Zach and you. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yes, go ahead. What's your question? Hello? Cult mom Lori Vallow and her husband Chad Daybell returned to Kauai after their 2-day trip to Maui as they search for their two missing children. Continues. That was yesterday. But she's in custody, but he is definitely possibly not. Cult mom Lori Vallow and her husband Chad Daybell were seen returning to the island of Kauai on Tuesday after their 2-day trip to Maui as the search for their missing children continue. Yeah, they left Idaho back in December and they're on the run. Lori has been arrested, but Chad is not been arrested. They're home in Rexburg, Idaho, where police began questioning them about the whereabouts of her children. 7-year-old Joshua and 17-year-old Tylee. They've been named as persons of interest in their disappearance, but they've not been charged. That was yesterday. Now she's been charged, but they don't have her on murder because they can't find the kids. But not presenting your kids apparently is less of a crime than murdering them. You know? Horrible. Yeah. Yeah, we don't take your calls, man. You can't stop me. I can come up You can try DDoSing me all night long. It wouldn't matter. Yeah, and plus we're recording the broadcast on various other networks. We've got 4 networks right now. You're wasting your time attacking me at Vaughn. You must be like mildly retarded. 8Ball is back. Yeah, Final brought that back on board. Thank you. Okay, we've got the fruit enzyme spray going big time. I'm feeling chipper. I feel like going down to Malibu and hitting the beaches, you know? Going down to Zuma and catching a few rays. Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Like the old days. That's a bad thing to say here in the room. That will cost you your account, but I'm going to mute you to give you one last chance. Is this guy Whammy? It's time to reframe what it means to be an athlete. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't really not that really interested.
Cats and dogs.
I really don't. No thanks. I'm going to beg off on that one. But anyway, they were at the airport there avoiding capture. The weird story is that the government, basically they're looking for these people, not only for the children missing, but for 3 other alleged murders related to a cult. Yeah. It's been going on for a couple months now, since the grandma reported the kids missing. Anyway, all I can say at this point is she's like a really pretty woman, and he's like looks like he likes to party, if you know what I mean. I don't know, but I'd like to get more on the cult aspect of this weird situation. And she doesn't look 17. But anyway, these are the most recent pictures of the kids. And the FBI explains why cops have not arrested the cult couple.
Somewhere else, but they're still alive. You know, what are we looking at in terms of potential crimes to charge these people with? Maybe child endangerment. Beyond that, at this point, I'm not sure.
Some people would say, well, she defied the court order to get the kids back to Rexburg, you know, a week or 2 ago. Is that sufficient enough to have her extradited back to Idaho?
So it's potentially leverage that they can use against her. You know, the next step in that process to get the warrant. Depending on what the charge is, there may very well be ground to have her extradited back, at least to address that question, are the children.
Could there also be the fact that law enforcement might deliberately not bringing her into custody?
Yeah, I don't think it would be deliberate. There's a number of options that they can pursue in terms of trying to get to the bottom of this issue. The threat of arrest could be one of them.
We discovered that.
Okay, you actually believe the guy who called me did a TED Talk? Oh, that's pretty funny. I don't know. I don't really want to divulge anybody's identity either. I use the R word anytime I want. Yeah. You can't tell me to not use any word in the English language. There's a thing called freedom of speech. You Democrats, go off to the hole you crawled out of. My goodness. A frustrated father confronts Elizabeth Warren over her student loan plan. A lot of people paid for their kids' education, and Elizabeth Warren wants everybody to cheat like she did. So, yeah. Not exactly wonderful. Let's listen in on this father who he paid the full tuition, and then he's upset that people are going to get a free ride. And where's that money coming from, Elizabeth? She cheated. I'll play more of this tonight too.
Forgiveness is becoming a very hard sell for some financially responsible Americans. One father calling her out in Iowa. Take a listen.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not even like that's screwed.
Of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra, my daughter's work, she was 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing and we get screwed.
Lou, how does she walk?
That's awesome. Yeah, she's walking a fine line offering a free education, especially when she cheated to get hers. So I'm pretty upset at Elizabeth Warren. I think Trump should have charged her with a felony perjury for saying she was Cherokee when she wasn't. Pete Buttgig brought up a good question to Bernie. Where are we going to get the extra $25 billion to pay for health care? I was asking the same thing. Yeah, it's not $25 billion. And ironically, Pete Buttgig doesn't really understand. It's actually going to be a lot more than $25 billion, but sure, if they want to throw that number at, let's start with that number. Our existing Obamacare is costing us $350 billion over budget every year. It's not $25 billion. It's a total of trillions of dollars over years. I wouldn't doubt $25 trillion would be the real number. Because Medicare for All that Bernie's talking about, which is constantly his big shtick, Bernie is a guy who's been complaining about the same things louder and louder as he got older, and now he's nearly, at the point where he's going to have another heart attack screaming like he does. No, the dad sounded like a very proud father that had saved all his money for his children's education, and Elizabeth Warren wants to just give everybody a free ride. Like, where's that money coming from? That doesn't exist. These Democrats, not only are they super taxing, but they're really good at spending too. They're wasting money already, and they're adding to the budget, and so is Donald Trump. So the whole system is out of control. Okay. Aquaculture farms in the United States are down 5% from 2013. We really need to get back on track. The technology to do aquaculture is there. I made some shrimp that was grown in Baja, Mexico. And the people from Thailand bought this land in Baja and are raising shrimp there. We need to do that too in America. We could use certain areas and make pristine waters. Pristine waters off the coast of New Orleans. Yeah, look at this. So our aquaculture is down. But the total aquaculture products increased by 1.5 billion, a 10% increase. But ours has dropped. So people are loving the fish, they're loving the shrimp, they love anything they can get with aquaculture, farm-raised salmon, etc. But our country doesn't do a damn thing to promote it. I'll change all that. I love aquaculture. Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan would save the country. No, that's just BS. That Yale study has not been given peer-reviewed. It's coming out of their butt. No. In fact, it requires the elimination of private health care, which would automatically upset the entire mix of healthcare solutions for Americans. And we can't even handle Obamacare. Why would I think that the Democrats are going to come up with something better with Medicare for All? That's absurd. And it's not going to save $450 billion. I'm not going to allow that post. Yeah, I'm just going to purge it. Yeah, I don't believe it. Show me the study and show me peer-reviewed analysis of the study. Thank you. It's going to cost trillions. I know. British Airways at one point had 122 Boeing 737, but has since completely retired the type. Where did the aircraft go? And why did British Airways seemingly give up what was once an almost all Boeing airline? No one really knows. There's boneyards of jets out there in the middle of Nevada. Yeah. There's places where you can find jets sitting out in the middle of massive fields. Look at the amount of infrastructure we have waiting. And these are really well-made hilly arc weld aluminum structures riveted by Rosie the Riveter. Look at all these things that are available for us. These are boneyards of jets out there. Mojave Desert has a bunch of them. These are where these things end up. Look at them. Just look at the magnitude of jets that we have waiting in these boneyards. Introducing the blimp plane. Yes. A long-awaited solution where I think we can actually make use of all that fuselage. All the outer planes, all the jets that we're pretty much retired a long time ago. Where's the blimp plane, Dave? Hello. Accessing blimp plane. Yeah, we're having a little problem with the blimp plane. Hold on. One moment, please. Going to back up. There it is. Wow. I'll have to clear out all my my stuff on Donald Trump. It's just taking up so much space. Unless, of course, they come up with another impeachment. But yeah, here it is. Here is the blimp plane in all its glory. And this idea, technology, if implemented properly, we could make maximum use of our airways. We would save 85% on fuel efficiency by simply using this type of technology. The biggest cost for a jet is to get up in the air. Okay, I don't have a son, so what are you saying? What's going on? I don't have a son named... No. You're not going to take my mind off of this subject. This is very important to the American people. The concept is to get the thing up in the air. And if we can have enough hydrogen to get this thing up in the air, we obviously save that huge amount of energy, 85%. So we can pass the savings on to you traveling in the air. So let me adjust the camera for a second. Hang on. Yeah, somebody said, Dave, there we go. Dave, what about crashing? Well, the blimp plane doesn't have the ability to crash. Yeah, it will have in it a complete parachute package, which will help it comfortably glide to the ground and no one will be hurt. All the air inside of these travel containers, and many of these jets will take 200 passengers, the air will all be filtered. And it won't just be filtered with standard filters. It'll have HEPA filters, which will screen viruses. So ironically, you know, even if somebody was sick next to you, it wouldn't affect you like it would in most planes now, where there's absolutely no air filtration. I don't think the mask that you're wearing for COVID-19 is good enough. I think everybody should have hazmat suits to survive what's coming. Yeah, do you have your hazmat suit? I have 2 hazmat suits, one for me and one for Sarah. I can't receive information via thermal paper messaging. No, I don't believe that calculation is correct. I think the single-payer universal basic income plan will cost this country more because it's going to cost the employer 7% and the employee 7%. That's not in any way a public option, a Medicare for all public option. Again, you Democrats are using catchphrases to grab people, thinking Medicare for all was a catchy phrase. I have to differ. The entire thing, I've got a better catchy phrase, and it won't cost you a penny. It won't cost employers or employees a penny. So start getting a load of this idea. Medicaid for all. That's right. And we already have it. So back off and stop pretending like your program's not going to cost you anything when it's going to cost us crap loads of money. Now, Rodney doesn't normally call in. He got in a couple nights, tricked me on the phone and managed to get in his voice. We don't take his calls normally. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren is kind of delusional, I agree. Elizabeth Warren will promise and say anything to get elected. Good point. Oh, well, we banned you. I'm sorry, Tiddly D. Yeah. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I can't unban you. Yeah, I've been trying to unban people, and the phone won't allow me to do that. So, sorry. Thanks for trying to call, though. Appreciate it. We've been slammed by a lot of people right now, so it's highly unlikely we're going to be able to take any calls at all. I just got 3 death threats. Yeah. Yeah, you can try calling again, but I don't think it's... Yeah. I don't think it's going to be possible tonight. Thanks for trying, though. Juan Gabriel has been dead for many years. And I could tell you that we know more about the COVID-19 problem than Juan Gabriel. Either way, whether this is some sort of a bioweapon or not, the bottom line is we have to be vigilant to prevent contamination. So don't touch your face with your hands, and wash your hands quite a bit every day. No, unfortunately, contacting a dead person while they're waiting access to heaven won't really, improve our ability to... Yeah, it's still blocked, sorry. Let me see if I can do something with a call that came in. Well, what I could do, ironically, is call you back. Let me see if you can answer the phone and see if it's you. Hey, is that you? Hey, man.
Hey, long time no talk.
No, yeah, thank you. I finally figured out how to get around the block problem. Thank you.
Roger that. Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. I understand people were calling in being kind of jerks on your phone today, so I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, really.
I just want to say thanks for, all these people that are calling in and causing all these problems for you, if they don't like you, why don't they just leave? I mean, what's the problem? I don't understand it,
Yeah, well, I think what's going on is these people, a lot of them are paid to attack our show. They're even trying to call right now to interrupt this call I'm having with you. And because these people are paid to attack our show, they have an obligation to their employer to do these things. They literally make money attacking me on every level. I can't tell you how screwed up it is. It's bad.
I mean, well, what happens to the country when nobody gets to hear anyone else's point of view? When is that?
That's now. That's what's happening now. That is the country we're living in. They want to suppress even the internet that's rolling out with free opportunities for people like myself or you to talk. They want to suppress that, so they're hiring these people to threaten anybody who does what we do. That's a very interesting reality we're living with right now.
All right, man. Well, we've been friends for years, so I hope nothing changes over that.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in and being an op. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. Take it easy, man.
Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, so we are being gang stalked on a daily basis. And these calls come in now. This is their method of harassing us. So, yeah. So building a unit like this with a parachute on top is precisely what I would set the Air Force to do. Now, the Air Force builds planes rarely. They usually contract this out. But what I'm going to be developing is getting a chance for our government to begin the design of planes. And I want to do it right here in this area where I live as a starting point, developing drone devices, unmanned vehicles, and blimp planes. Boeing is in this area. They can easily begin the process of developing a large dirigible that can be attached to standard fuselage. Yes, can I help you? Yeah, gay people are endorsing, there's a couple of gay guys endorsing a little boy named Desmond, an advocate for transgenderism. Yeah, I got to tell you, that's a little weird. I would get the FBI involved, because one of the guys that's involved with that young boy has been charged with murder and served time for murdering somebody. So I am famous for my extrasensory powers. Thank you. I guess the Vatican, the word's getting out. Well, thank you for at least giving me the opportunity to chat with you people in the Vatican. I appreciate that. This idea never came out of a moment on the toilet, although that is one of the most inspirational times when you have your best ideas. They say that people think more creatively when having bowel movements. Yeah, but this idea was not born of a good bowel movement. Yeah, we talked about this. See the ribbing on this thing? Well, that could be a nylon rope connected to an outer Kevlar membrane made out of parachute material that's wrapped with Kevlar. Kevlar is pretty movable, as long as it's not heavily sprayed with fiberglass. And the whole unit could have an opening at the bottom that would open up like a mushroom. Yeah, it would be like a mushroom, and it would blow up about the size of, a stadium. That would extend out like big time. And then it would be anchored to the center of the plane, connected at key areas which support the struts and the ribbing of the plane. Now, I've talked directly to people who have done X-ray analysis of the jets that we have in our fleet. And I know a lot of these things have stress fractures in them. That's one of the reasons why they were retired out. But they won't be flying at 500 miles per hour. They'll be flying at most 300 miles per hour. And any plane that we put into operation will already have another X-ray of everything. And we'll find every stress fracture there is, and we'll re-weld them. So every infrastructure, every exoskeleton of this design would be protected. Now, this area right here, the dirigible, made out of carbon fiber, extruded, that would hold a very large Kevlar tarpaulin around the outside. If the hydrogen level inside were to disappear and the plane were to descend, the plane would still have the jets to operate it and continue using the existing telemetry data of the plane's ability to fly and land effectively. All right. So crash proof, go from New York to Los Angeles and back. It takes 10 hours to go across country. What this would feature would be, in the back end, would be the vape lounge, a large area with filtered air in it, where people could comfortably vaporize, and have a humidor would be in there where people who want to get a high could actually do that in the humidor. The other area would be a juice bar and a coffee lounge. And we'd provide everything you would need to meet people, including entertainment and maybe some dancing, a little dancing on board the plane, And it'll be a nice flight. It'd be 10 hours versus, 4 or 5 crossing the country. But think of all the fun you'd have. And the cost of this plane trip would be $100 one way. It's going to increase the traffic. If we have these up and running, we could actually increase the number of people who take flights because the price would be dropping considerably. I have taken callers. It's just that we can't take haters and trolls. We don't take trolls or haters in the call. So if you are a troll trying to attack our show, you're wasting your time. You know, I'd like to start the blimp company. I'm looking at a jet right now that's for sale in Nevada, but the bidding started at $15,000, but they expect to get $100 for it, and I really don't want to go up beyond $15,000. So, yeah, you can buy a car for that much. There's a jet for sale right now, believe it or not. Yeah, but this humidor concept, Howie, is a place where you walk in when you're going to smoke, you know, really good vaporized weed. So that way, when you walk in there, you're getting high from just the smell of other people, you know, smoking the same or vaping the same weed. Yeah, we don't want people to be infested with pot smell when you go into the vaporizer lounge, because you can go in there and you're like, your wife will go, honey, where were you? And you've got this rented little 2-person carrier and you're sleeping together, you and your wife says, you reek of pot. You don't want that. Okay? Everything will be vented and filtered. And you will have the option of maintaining that level of enjoyment without having to endanger others by driving. You know? We won't ask you to fly the blimp plane. You may just be so bent out of shape that you'll be like this guy right here.
Hey, do you ever wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, like, do you ever, like, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly, dude. Now, that guy made $14 million. He'd probably have enough money to invest in my blimp plane. Yeah, he made $14 million being the guy he is on YouTube. You see, nobody really understands the importance of something so gigantic that it would take a massive undertaker to pull that off. Hey, have you seen the old picture? 2 years ago, a woman popped up I'm not going to tell you her name because I don't know it, for one, but she popped up looking just like Donald Trump. She's a Spanish potato farmer. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. She actually does a few cameos. She's appeared in front of other people with the Trump look. Yes. Recent sighting of her, I believe. We don't have the ability to do a 5-minute screening on any calls. And believe me, most of those news stations have a staff of 5 or 6 people. We at the best have, you know, myself. Right. I was looking for that picture of Trump. I don't want to lose it. I wanted it handy. One moment, please. Handy dandy. Here it is. Yeah, this is one of the pictures. I did some facial comparisons between this recent photograph. That, by the way, say goodbye to the blimp plane. Bye, blimp plane. I did some photo comparisons here, and yeah, let me just line this up here for you. I feel so superior. I could be like Vladimir Putin with the puppet Trump, you know, a marionette. I compared this face to the other face, and it's a match. Yeah, so I believe that this woman, this potato farmer, she's been put in play. I believe her entire thing has been, well, something's going on. She's definitely doing something. And I don't know why the president has this person to fill in for him, but you see he appeared in Oklahoma, or she appeared in Oklahoma with that cap on. Yeah. Pretty close. Let me adjust for broadening. There we go. Very similar features. Yeah. You see how close that is? Just a different position of the face, tilt of the head. Anyway. Strange, isn't it? That they have to have a replacement for the president just because he can't get around with so many cheeseburgers in his gut and fish burgers from McDonald's and Diet Cokes. He can barely ambulate. She's a lot healthier. I'll bet she could probably walk 5-10 miles without even... She looks like she could kick some serious ass. Well, Trump has testicles, but she doesn't. Well, at least I don't think she does. Oh. Wow, I feel so superior up in here in the floating above you. You didn't know I didn't have a body. Wow. Must have come as a shock to you. A secret Pentagon report has revealed that the U.S. created ISIS as a tool to overthrow President Assad in Syria. Isn't that sad? Now that's just sad, see? Yes, hello. Can I help you? Hi, Taylor. Going pretty good. What's up?
But I have been watching your shows on and off the last 10 years since you were on Blog TV, and I just wanted to tell you thank you, actually.
Wow. Thank you.
I wanted to say, you know, even though through the years we haven't always agreed on everything, but nobody does. Nobody agrees on absolutely everything. But the biggest thing is that as a young kid, when I first discovered somebody like you, an average individual that's doing something that he believes in what he believes in doing, that's very inspirational, and it's inspired me to do what I'm doing today to promote inclusion and opportunities. And though I don't make political endorsements, I do have to appreciate what you're trying to do from an average person standpoint, trying to make change that you feel like you need to make change in this country. And
Exactly.
It's needed.
Yeah, it really is needed. That's why I fill the gap. Yeah.
Opportunities for everyone.
It is, and it's a good opportunity for all of you to chat and communicate. That's what we are here for, all of you to actually communicate. So it's good you have this venue to talk.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And I saw in the chat that some people didn't quite think, but yes, I did a TED Talk last March. Yes.
Oh, you did do a TED Talk. Okay. Good to know, man.
I did, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just don't participate in the chat very often, but I tend to watch more of your YouTube stuff than the other chat rooms.
Wow. Okay.
But, you know, you're standing up and you're doing what you believe in, and you're promoting a message of what you believe and why you believe it. And that's very commendable, because that's something not very many people do in really today's society. People need more encouragement. They need even somebody to encourage them to really go after what they believe in and why they believe what they believe.
Right. Yeah, we all have that.
And the biggest thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And so my biggest thing is putting aside perceptions of what those with disabilities can and cannot accomplish, because there are a lot of them. More programs and more services do need to be out there everywhere, because there are those, especially in rural communities, after they graduate high school, there are no services for them. They go home and there's nothing else for them, so we need to do everything we possibly can and accept them for who they are.
Right.
And instill confidence for them to fulfill their dreams and be a provider and a supporter, rather than somebody who has a preconceived idea of what they can and cannot accomplish. And that was really why I called earlier, and just to call and say, you know, you were one that really helped me form my beliefs, and really it inspired me to continue taking a stand. So while I don't politically endorse candidates, you know, I do have to say, you know, what you're doing is inspiring, and you're doing much more than a lot of other people are doing.
Great. Yeah, good. Well, we'll play your TED Talk tonight.
Get you down, man.
I appreciate it, man. We'll play your TED Talk and get your perspective, so we'll add that to the lineup tonight. Thank you for confirming.
Right on.
All right.
Right on. Don't let the trolls get you down, because I know that deep down everyone has some great ideas, but it takes a select few who really believe what they believe and why they believe and what they believe to really take it upon themselves to try to make change.
Totally, yeah.
Everybody else says that they're crazy or not.
Yeah, this is the kind of commitment you need in order to make change. You have to be all full bore. You can't just pull back. You have to go all the way. People say, David, how do you keep doing this?
Definitely.
You got to keep doing it. I'm powered by the need for a lot of people to communicate and have a better way, especially in the middle of the political spectrum. That's what I'm trying to find a place where we can all agree.
Of course.
All right, thank you for calling.
Of course, and there's a lot of people out there that would love to hear that message outside the web show as well. I always thought too, because people are always looking for new ideas to take effect and be inspired by.
Yeah, but the people that run the country don't want that. They want to divide us into two separate categories. They don't want us to agree. That's why they're dividing us every day in the news.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
All I can say is never give up, man.
Thank you.
Never give up.
I won't.
And I know there are people out there who really laugh at all of us for any of our ideas that we may have, whether in hindsight they'd be successful or not, but you don't know whether they're going to be successful until you try something.
Exactly, yeah. And this has been very successful. I just haven't seen it in financial ways, not for myself, but even for our donations. We found that people that do grab us usually watch us on free networks on UHF or VHF, or have very little money, and we're kind of like the bargain basement media for a lot of people who can't even afford the internet. So I don't expect them to make donations, especially if they're from another country. But the message is going viral worldwide every day.
So you do like public access and that kind of thing, right?
No, I don't. We're banned on almost every network. We're banned on almost every network, but the UHF rebroadcasters.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, but this is why they're so upset about the people that run the country are dividing the country. They don't want a centrist movement that would unite both left and right, and that's their biggest fear. And that's what we are. And that's the thing that they're really trying to stop. So they're throwing a lot of money at this, and they know that I'm already way past them. The UHF viewership is in the millions. I don't know if you're aware of it, but millions of people watch this show around the world, and it's beyond our wildest imagination how many people are watching this show. But in America, we're being kept down, held back. Yeah.
I see. I understand your viewpoint. I'm sorry you feel that way about the media and stuff. All I can tell you is never give up.
I won't. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for calling me, Taylor.
All right. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, so we get real callers sometimes, like Sky Scion. Got that one in the lineup too. Yeah, it's overwhelming to think that there are people who have so much money that they want to get rid of somebody who's building a political movement. This is hilarious. Global warming, as seen through underwear sides. Yeah. So 1720, you saw much bigger underwear. And now they're like thong in 2010, now that you practically don't even wear underwear, right? Some of you don't even have underwear. It's like, what's underwear? No, he's not going to prank me. No, he's been watching our show for years. Yeah, we've developed a lot of loyal viewers that I can tell immediately when they're real. When they're not real, it's a different story. But the people who are trying to attack our show on a nightly basis, they're on a pathway to failure. There's no way they're going to beat me. I've done this so successfully for 11 years, there's nothing they can do to stop me. That's what's sad, that they have to understand that the people of this country have spoken, and we want to be heard. We're not being heard in our own country. It's a big problem. It's enough to cause any one of you to believe that America is no different than North Korea in that respect. We really are. We've fallen down in the category of allowing our government to be controlled by some pretty disturbing and evil people. And they have us believing that somehow by voting left or right, we're having choice. That's the illusion of choice. It's not real. Choice is when you have more than two choices. Choice is when you have 3 or 4 choices, not 2 choices. They've kept you down to left versus right. Soros invested $33 million to burn down your town in 2014. Yeah, Bernie's he's got a good point, and we have to go after the billionaires like George Soros. We should have plans to stop people from buying paid rioters. But Bernie turned a blind eye to the Occupy movement. He didn't really do anything to support that. So he wants to ride on the coattails of any leftist liberal activities and then claim and bring them all into his socialist platform, which is going to take away your personal rights, your individual freedoms. Socialism denies you the right of the individual and forces you to behave like a collective victim. And many people don't want to be told what to do. And ironically, socialism has not cured problems of homelessness, blight, poverty. Socialism creates poverty, blight, simply because they don't offer enough opportunity for people to get out of their situation. Instead, they just give them free money. Now, people have accused me of being a socialist because I was the guy who created the universal basic income plan of $500 per month for every U.S. adult citizen, but I'm not a socialist. I created this plan with our hybrid capitalism idea. I call it the baseline. It's our baseline plus idea, where if you can't feed yourself, you can't possibly work. If you can't have even a tent to live in, you can't work. If you have no decent services, washing facilities like our mobile medical units are offering, you can't work. You see, I take what we have already and give people a little bit something extra to get ahead. And if they work, that's the plus part of our baseline plus. No. Cranky Beans, I don't believe the study. Yeah, I will unmute you, but don't publish that here. That's just a BS story. Medicare for All is based on the single payer plan, which would require 7% of your money that you work for to be given to this plan, and 7% of your employer's money that they work for to give to this plan. Claiming that it will save $450 billion is absurd. It's going to cost so many employers and employees so much money, it's not even funny. So it's a statistical judo attempt that the Democrats are making when they've already given us Obamacare, and that cost us $350 billion more per year. Now they're claiming they're going to save $450 billion by giving everybody full health care insurance. It's ridiculous. It's a lie, and I will not stand for it in my room. Corey Feldman was raped? What? Are you serious? Let's take a look at that story. You normally don't come up with this stuff. Oh, he was detained 2 hours ago. As the bombshell expose is going to be appearing in 2 days. Corey Feldman better hire some people to protect him because he is veritably vulnerable. Yeah. The Goonies star allegedly tried to take a taser while boarding an airplane in New York and was almost arrested. Wow, he's trying to bring a taser on board his plane. Yeah, I don't think they plan on raping him. No, the chances are Corey Feldman is, like many victims, probably involved in something. Yeah, that's what they say. People who've been victimized in that field oftentimes get involved in repeating the offense that happened to them. I'm not saying Corey Feldman is a pedophile. I never said that. Real Man wants to talk about the truth about 9/11. Why did George W. Bush lie about a missile hitting the Pentagon? Wow. Well, it's good you finally asked that question, Real Man's pilot. Yeah, that's a good Really good questions. One of the most important questions we open up on Truth Tuesday with. It does seem like 9/11 was completely covered up because the FBI had 83 camera angles of the Pentagon, and they only showed one camera angle and 15 frames. This is all they showed. There was a white streak in the corner of the screen. This is the only thing we got to see. But no matter how you cut it, it is not a 767 jet. And that begs the question, what is it? It's not a Tomahawk missile, but it definitely is some sort of a missile. You can see the tip of it right here. So who in the heck, these ragtag group of Saudi Arabians that allegedly flew planes into buildings, they could not have pulled this one off. Yeah, so that begs the question, who's covering it up, and why is the FBI only releasing that many frames of one camera angle? They can't hide from the truth. Sarah's here to give me a little break. Thank you. I know you grew up with Corey, and you could talk a lot of crap, but whoever suggested he might be a pedo is out of line. I agree. If anything, Corey Feldman is a victim. But maybe there's a reason why, he's been protected all these years. Maybe there's a purpose. Maybe he's here to expose this and take the chances necessary to do that. Because we certainly need to look at there's a law that says that anybody who does a film in Hollywood, it's a LA County law, that anyone who does a film in Hollywood has to have a background check. And the law has been in place for 5 years, and it's never been enforced. Never. So like when Tom Hanks did a Mr. Rogers impersonation recently, nobody on that set was cleared.
Well, the thing is that, yeah,
it's just weird. They're not doing anything to protect the children in the film industry. So I say LA County should start really protecting those children. Enforce the laws that they have in their books.
Yeah, I agree with you. 342. Anyone who works with children should have a background check. Why does David need? What does he need a break from? He needs to have his dinner. That's why David needs a little break. David reminds you of the guy who played My Favorite Martian. David really likes that, My Favorite Martian. He even got his car because he liked that idea of the car that was My Favorite Martian, the spacecraft. His car really does look like a spacecraft. That is so weird, J-Mix, right? Pee Wee Herman. Oh, God. Your mom would let you watch Pee Wee Herman, but she didn't like Mr. Rogers. So strange. I really do like Mr. Rogers. Did I hear a TEDx speaker called David? No, I did not. Yeah, Tyerson's sitting in a CPU chair, yes. Perfect is usually fail. I'd agree with that too. Yeah, I thought your last comment was pretty funny. Not signed in. Who came in here? Who are you talking about? Stop at Whammy. Oh, a TEDx speaker called David? It was really a certain TEDx speaker? And the TEDx speaker came into the show and thanked David? Taylor Duncan, the TEDx speaker. Yeah. I'll have to look him up. I haven't seen all TEDx stuff, but I've seen a few. We'll look at autism in the world of sports. And it's time to reframe what it means to be an athlete. Okay. From Atlanta. Yes, David did used to be on Blog TV. All right, yeah, we used to be on Black TV. What? Oh, Taylor Duncan. I kind of remember that name from Black TV days. Vaguely, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, General Patton. I'm not really sure if I can answer that because I don't really know. Sounds the same to me. Just a different wording. A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, but that by any other name smells just as not sweet. Jen Patton over at one asked Sarah, what's the difference between a social democrat and a communist? I'm trying to figure that out myself. Really, if you find the answer, can you let me know? That's interesting. Third party, it means like in America we have two major parties, the Democrats and Republican, and we want a third party, neither Democrat nor Republican. I don't think it's worth going to war to do that. Not signed in. I guess it would depend on the size of the private jet, but I don't think it's that much to park a private jet. Oh, is it a question you're asking AI? Okay. You could probably, if you do it at a smaller airport, it's probably not that expensive. Well, I love to garden. I love to do math. I like to help students learn math. There's a lot of things that I'm here for. I'm here to help David. What do you live for? Oh, is that something more like chocolate? Or is that some, I don't know. What's that? What's your question really about? You're listening to NPR? Wow. Oh, that's Taylor Duncan. Okay. Hello, Howie. Oh, you're trying to figure out what to live for. Well, the big thing I would say, it's best to help other people. That is the best thing. If you're ever feeling depressed, go help someone that maybe is less fortunate than you. Final Dream says maybe you could live for food. I know some people that would like that, but my life, I have been depressed in the past, but my life is actually really great now. David doesn't want your help. You need to help someone that actually wants help. Who? Well, you can volunteer for Big Brothers Big Sisters. That would be a good volunteer organization. You could volunteer at a school, helping kids learn how to read. You could volunteer at a community garden organization, helping to plant flowers. Digging your hands in soil is really good for your soul. You could... Well, do you know how to write? So that's something kindergartners can't do yet, so you could help them with that. You could paint. You could just call up your local, what's it called? City Commerce, Chamber of Commerce, and ask them, hey, I'd like to volunteer somewhere. I'm just not sure where to volunteer. And they might have a list of where you can volunteer. Forgiveness and giving are acts of love. It's hard to be in a place of love and a negative emotion at the same time. Yes, forgive anyone that's wronged you, and forgive yourself too. And give to others. How does David do it? How does David do what? I mean, the show, persistence, perseverance. Yeah, you could adopt a highway and pick up trash. That would be good too. He founded Alternative Baseball Organization in 2016. Wow. All right. No, I don't think so, Howie. That's not the way it works. Yeah, turn off your computer and spend less time on online. Then you might be less depressed, I guess. Oh, nice. Okay, thanks. Stop at a whammy. Yeah, you could do a digital detox. It's not easy, but you could do it. Turn off your computer, only read books, go for a walk outside. It's a beautiful day today. Very sunny. I could see the mountains in the distance. It was just gorgeous today. 3-hour drive, something like that. Stop at a whammy. Maybe even 4-hour drive. Well, let me see. Maybe I'm wrong, but with traffic, yeah, I'm not wrong with traffic. Oh, it says 2 hours, 11 minutes, but with traffic, you could easily add another hour. 125 miles. Thank you. It was cold there today, yeah. Well, for the last 3 days, I woke up and there was frost on the car, but that's because they were beautiful sunny days, and it seems whenever it's a clear day, that's when it actually gets colder. Thanks. And anyway, but for last night and tonight, I put a windshield cover over my windshield that my dad got me a couple of years ago, and I loved that. Waking up this morning and it was frosty again, but I didn't have to scrape my windshield. I did, however, scrape my rear window, but ugh. Hello, Super Dave. I'm doing okay. That's funny. Oh, I was gonna look at these. Another not 20, but 15 cases in Washington, or 15 not cases, but people under observation in Washington. I do not have YouTubers that I subscribe to or watch regularly. No, I don't recall Shrimp Chef. I do not recall that. I was working on clicking off some David. Where is my undivided attention at? I don't have undivided attention. I have divided attention. I suppose I am a simple girl, and I'm not that hard to please. Should I be harder to please? Should I be meaner? I don't think so. I think I'm good just the way I am. How was school today? I had some kids that were squirrely and they said I have trouble paying attention, and then I asked the kids, do you have problems paying attention when when everyone's squirrely? And they're all like, yes I do, yes I do. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow, about what should be the punishment. No, but I have done that to my family when I was younger, Johnny. Why didn't they just keep the toilet paper in the bathroom? No, I never said that, shrimp. Simple Girl YouTube video. You think my potential is frightening? Like how upset I can get? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Just keep your extra rolls on top of the toilet lid. Exactly. That's a good place for them. Whatever that means, my potential is frightening. I don't think he has that problem. You want to have a garden competition with me? Okay, if it'll give you a reason to live. So today, my latest garden notes, which I should maybe write down, maybe not. I did start hardening off the peas I planted. So the peas I planted them about 2 weeks ago. And now they're like this high already. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to trellis all of these? I think I'm just going to use tomato cages. These sweet peas. And then I was saying, I know I need to harden them off, but how do I do that exactly? My sister, she's a master gardener. She said, well, you put them outside, but not every day, but not, you lengthen the amount of time each day that you put them outside. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, maybe I'll do that someday, push and toe. I was gonna wear some makeup today, just some eyeshadow, but then I decided not to, I guess, at the last minute. Or actually, I forgot.
Yeah, you don't need makeup. Some women need makeup. You don't.
Thank you. You're probably right, J-Mix. J-Mix, or I'm pretty sure elementary school teachers have the most fun. No, I don't think that. You want me to put on lots of makeup? I don't know if I know how to put on lots of makeup. Wait, I did that one Halloween when I pretended to be Melania Trump. Yeah, do the makeover thing that women do. Lipstick and everything. I'd have to go buy some lipstick probably. Yeah, there are. I can apply makeup. It's not that I don't know how. It's just that I don't want to. Okay, Scissor Fight has a link for me, which I'll probably click off because of all those tag. Anyway, okay. Some people cry when cutting onions. The trick is not to form an emotional bond. Oh, that's funny. I've heard that the trick is like not to cut the stem of it or the not to cut near the roots first. If you keep away from the roots as long as you can, then it might not release the things that cause people to cry. But I think that's the biggest trick, yeah. As you get closer to the stem, that's when it's more likely to cry. So leave the stem on as while you're cutting it. Have that be the last thing you cut off. You got charged 55 cents for extra mayonnaise at McDonald's, and you hear they're going to start charging 5 cents for each ketchup packet soon? I know, you're right. You get the feeling I'm not really into the garden competition. Sorry, I'm really not that into it. I guess not. I don't know if I consider myself a gardener. I still don't know about that. I mean, it's not like every day I'm like, oh, I want to go work in my garden. I don't know. I don't know if there's other people out there that are like that. But I have known as like the garden teacher because I am the only one that goes and works in the school garden. I'm really about composting than gardening. So
Okey-dokey, thank you so much. I got it. Took care of it. Applying to heap. What? How did I violate a Logan Act?
no way.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I don't know.
That was just an attack. I remember that the Regis character.
Was there a new device? Maybe.
Maybe today. Yeah.
Okay.
I did log in. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to close out of this.
Close out of that. We managed to get past the DDoS attack.
You
I
want
am
the
definitely
one open, or does it matter?
What's that?
Okay.
Gardening challenges. Yeah. What does the third party mean? Yedu. It's basically we're in the middle of the political spectrum. We're not Democrats. We're not Republicans. We're centrists, and that's what a third party is.
Yes, it's back to David.
It could also be a far left party, but we're not far left. It could be a far right party, but we're not far right. Trump is in Putin's back pocket. Hey, thank you, Sarah, for a great evening. Appreciate you filling in. I can't get over how great that tasted with the oysters in it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. That really, just threw the whole can right in there. It was like, boom. Rancid, you're not going to be able to stay in the room if you keep doing that. You talk about politics. Thanks. Putin, Trump, what a joke. Oh, you still think it's a hoax? You're one of those Republicans who thought that it's all fake news. You believed Trump. You actually believed his lies. Oh, man. You need to wake up. Democrats are in with Russia, too. I'm not arguing with that at all. I think that they take money. That's why they wouldn't expose Mitch McConnell or Lindsey Graham's connection to Russian oligarchs. I would have thought the Democrats would have seized the opportunity, but they were afraid. I have a curl. Oh, yeah. I know. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a curl. Well, I have better hair than Mitch McConnell. That's for sure. That guy needs to, get a serious new look at his look. This guy's towing the line for the Republicans and keeping our country from actually engaging in constitutional law. His donations from a Russian oligarch got him a tremendous amount of money. $3 million for re-election. And he acts like he's innocent, like he'd never do anything bad. Well, how come Donald Trump didn't prosecute Hillary? Well, Dave, I wouldn't say bad things about me, Dave. It could cost you politically someday. You know how these things are. Jeez. He forgot something. He forgot his face. He was a beneficiary of free state aid throughout all of his childhood. He suffered from polio or something, some debilitating disease. And he won't even acknowledge the need for more state aid for people with disabilities. It's like unbelievable. The guy got a free ride as a kid, and he turns around and hates on anybody that wants a disability. Have you ever been shy? Yes, I was extremely shy as a child. Almost too shy. It shocked my teachers. I couldn't understand why everyone was so social when I had grown up in a very, quiet. No, actually, I think the reason why I was shy is because when you're in a group of people, a lot of people, it's easier to blend in than to stand out. So I tried to blend in. Hi. Yes, can I help you? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll work on this later. Settings. Call block. Okay. I should have room now. They only give me 150 blocked numbers. Let me see if it works now. Yes, could I help you? Call Call block full, yeah. Thank you, caller block. Good. Yeah. We had a staffer from Mitch McConnell's campaign that is disputing this. Wow, okay. Senator Mitch McConnell walks on the Senate fact-checking claim that Mitch McConnell's biggest donor is sanctioned Russian oligarch. Okay, a screenshot of a tweet spreading online accuses Senator Mitch McConnell of receiving donations from a Russian oligarch who the GOP-controlled Congress recently lifted sanctions on. Okay. The tweet reads, ready for this. It turns out that the biggest donor for Mitch McConnell is none other than the Russian oligarch that the GOP just lifted sanctions on. The same post links to a January 28th Medium post by the Democratic Coalition, a super PAC founded in 2016 in opposition of Donald Trump. This post was flagged as part of Facebook's efforts to combat false news and misinformation on its news feed. According to the Democratic Coalition story, Len Blavatnik, a dual U.S.-UK citizen, donated millions to McConnell's campaign and Senate Leadership Fund in recent years via his company Access Holdings. The story also claims Blavatnik is a long-term business partner of the Kremlin-linked Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska of the aluminum company Rusal, in which Blavatnik is a major investor. It then says McConnell led Republicans in January to vote against a resolution to maintain sanctions on Deripaska. We found that this isn't false, but the claim exaggerates Blavatnik's contributions to McConnell as being his biggest donor. It makes it look as if Blavatnik is the Russian oligarch affected by sanctions. In fact, it was another Russian with whom he conducted business. Okay, that I can accept. Who is Len Blavatnik and how much did he donate to McConnell? Well, he immigrated to the United States with his family in the late 1970s and returned to Russia in the late 80s as the Soviet Union began to collapse. His U.S.-based holdings companies, Access Industries, Inc., and AI Altep Holdings, Inc., are conduits for his largest political contributions, according to the FEC records. Yeah, go ahead. I'm getting a lot of death threats, so what can I do for you? Call block memory full. Caller blocked. Okay, good. Yeah, anytime you guys run your mouth off threatening to expose, to stop me from exposing the Russian connection to Mitch McConnell, I got it right in front of me right here. No, it's not his biggest donation. No. But it's definitely a large donation. And we certainly are not going to forget that Lindsey Graham is getting money from the same guy. And we found out that Len Blavatnik also provided money to Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg. I did some research and I found out that Buttigieg is a French word. He looks like a little Frenchman, you know. Yeah, thank you, Cranky. And we found out that when we ran Buttigieg through the Google Translate, yeah, it was French. And listen to the pronunciation.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. The English pronunciation is
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. The French pronunciation is Buttigieg. So if I say Buttigieg, I'm perfectly within my rights. Thank you. Trump mentioned how important free speech to social media is just recently in the news day. I don't really think so. Trump doesn't care about anything. He hasn't prosecuted Hillary. Please stop believing that Trump does anything that he says he's going to do. Come on. Well, you people really went down the Trump tree, didn't you? Hey, Carrie, thank you. Good to know. Thank you, Carrie. Carrie, all I could tell you is that Hoppy used to tell me that you gave him some sunglasses that you got promotionally. He used to brag about that. That's all he ever told me. And that he knew you and that he liked you. So, well, All I can tell you at this point, Carrie, is that I certainly didn't mean to imply that he was harassing you. Yeah. I will say this, though, Carrie. He harassed us for 4 years. And he claimed he was he was a U.S. airborne pilot, or he was on the 101st Airborne. He showed us patches. We went to visit him. So I didn't mean to imply he was harassing you, but he kept bragging about all the times you were together when I talked to him. And I talked to Hoppy at length, okay? Well, that is between you and me. That's between you and myself and him. But haven't you heard that he died? Haven't you heard that he died? Yes, can I help you? Hi. Okay. Threats I'm going to keep this up there as long as I want. And when you guys realize that I've got your little gonads by the short hairs, you Republicans better just pack up your bags and leave Washington, because we know you're working with Russia. And I'm not stopping on this point as long as PolitiFact has that article up and running. So don't come in here and try to stop me from telling the truth to the American people. How dare you? Meanwhile, Carrie, I humbly am sorry if I ever implied that he was harassing you. Yeah, I was talking to someone privately in an iVlog show. No, but he harassed me for a long, long time. And if you want to hear about my story, I'd love to tell you. Feel free to call me anytime, Carrie. My number is 707, your ATP. We can talk privately, or you can simply, talk on public if you want. I mean, I'd never wanted to in any way imply that he was harassing you, though. But boy, did he harass us. Yeah, so when I found out he passed away, I was quite surprised. And, I had to tell you the truth, Carrie, I had a real strong sympathy for him. And it carried a long time. I mean, I literally talked to him on the phone for about, I'd say, a couple years. When we met him and he deceived us, and we later found out how much he deceived us, he told us he was an NSA agent. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I know that, I realized that he was trying to, build himself up. But, yeah, you knew Christopher a lot longer than I did. I know. But you never knew him to lie once, Carrie? You never knew him to lie to you ever? Because he certainly had a good one going with us. I dang near applied the Stolen Valor Act. Obama he never did lie. Okay. Well, Obama had declared that it's illegal to impersonate an officer during those years, and then he nullified it. And basically, Obama, then reversed his decision, and then there was no need to worry about him. But, in reference to Hoppy and in deference to him, I wouldn't have wanted to be in his situation, frankly. I realize. Well, he said it to me and to the show, too. He called us up and started pretending to be an NSA officer. It has nothing to do with you at all, no. He called us up and had pretended to be an NSA officer and pretended to give information about what's going on in the world. I mean, it's like he really went off the deep end with us. But I'm really glad that you guys had a good relationship, online and offline, whatever. I in no way ever wished him harm, that's for sure. Yeah, I could play the TR-3B and they would probably DDoS me. But here's Pete Buttigieg getting money from the same guy, Len Blavatnik. Now, these names will be popping up again and again as we move forward. Len Blavatnik and Oleg Deripaska, because they were the ones that rigged our election. And they were the ones that the Robert Mueller team were looking on. I never did. No way did I say that. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. But no, what I said on the line was, at the time, the man you're referring to pumped me for questions when I was in the middle of a show. And he said, did Hoppy ever harass you? And I said, yeah, he harassed me a lot of times. And he also contacted this so-and-so, this woman. I looked up, I remembered your name. And because Hoppy bragged about getting designer sunglasses from you. Yeah. So that's all I remember. And then I think that person assumed that I was saying he was harassing you. That's not what I meant. He harassed me. I think they may have misinterpreted that. All right. Well, thank you. And in deference to Hoppy, I'm glad he had a good relationship with you. I really am. I wanted whatever best was for him. I had no ill feelings when, I found out we'd been totally deceived by him and had taken 3 years of my time up on the phone with me. I had no real ill feelings about that. Okay. Thank you. Meanwhile, we've got other things to talk about. We've got an hour ahead of us. But here's Pete Buttigieg getting money from this billionaire oligarch, Len Blavatnik. The name pops up again. So you can't tell me our government's not being controlled indirectly. Oh, wait a second. You're now saying you gave him a pair of Oakley glasses? Because you told the person last night that I was talking to, and they referred to me saying you never gave him a thing. Now you're saying you gave him a pair of Oakley glasses, and it's no big deal for you. You get them for free. Yeah, but that's not what that guy said to me. So I don't think that guy was really in our best interest, either one of us. I think that guy was misstating things that I said to you, and it was misstating things that you said to me, or about the glasses. He said that you denied ever getting them in your Facebook post. Never giving them. So, yeah, I'm fine with the fact that you gave him free sunglasses. That's no big deal. Yeah. Okay, Rancid Sheb, you're going to have to stop coming in here and doing this. Yeah, we're getting to that a little bit later. We just wanted to resolve this thing with this person that knew Hoppy. No big deal. I know. But he never harassed that person. That's right. Thank you. Yeah, I think that person misinterpreted when I said Hoppy was harassing me. He said, did he harass anybody else? And I said, well, he knew you. I don't know. I think he may have assumed that I meant, because I knew that he liked to brag about knowing you. He told me that. He also knew the lady who had her arm cut off from a shark, who is a world-class surfer. You probably know who I'm talking about. He liked to brag about the people he knew because I think that gave him a sense of purpose. But in any event, I think that to keep his record intact, he never harassed you. Exactly. So the three of you went for coffee together. There you go. Cool. Well, I must say this, that he had one heck of a life when he came to visit you. Yeah. And I'm glad that he had this appreciation by others, because when we met him, we were kind of shocked by his appearance. Remember, we were told we were meeting a guy who just fell out of a helicopter and landed somehow safely after falling 4,000 feet in the 101st Airborne. That's the person we met, Anybody who's working with Russia right now, who's colluding, will be dealing with the, jail sentence, sure. Remember, you can't be a traitor to America and expect it just to ride. I mean, I'm tabulating all of the things that are going on right now. I keep a constant vigil watching the internet. Like I'm telling you, Roger Stone does not deserve to be prosecuted. I saw nothing out of the ordinary with Roger Stone. However, we need to find out something about Seth Rich. And his parents want to know more too now. So we've got a lot of things we need to move on to get more information forward. But
good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We have...
Buttigieg has been caught faking black support again. Interesting.
Amazing show for everybody today. Ryan, thank you so much for filling in for Crystal.
Always a pleasure.
Of course. Well, the audience loves you, so it's perfect. All right, so we've got an amazing show. This is Virginia Delegate Lee Carter. He's going to talk a little bit about what's going on in that state and where the Democrats...
Okay, well, this is the deal. This is the thing. I'll tell you how deep the deception went. Based on the information that I've gathered, I can't confirm or deny that Hoppy is alive or dead. Based on information, I don't even know if you're pretending to be somebody you're not, being him. But that's how difficult this whole thing was over the years. We were deceived so much that I can't verify that you're real. Now, that's not to say that you're not real, but I in no way want to in any way malign the character of either you or Hoppy. So, that being said, I don't really have anything more to talk about on that note. Other than I certainly am glad that he had a good relationship with you and that other person. Because remember, I thought good things for him because of his situation. I'm a very concerned person when I see people who are suffering. And I could tell there was something wrong when I met him. Okay, here's Larry Sinclair, a man who allegedly had sex with Barack Obama in a limousine in Gurnee, Illinois, and never got any press time whatsoever from the mainstream media. If you haven't seen this video, it'll shock you. Here it is. For some reason, it's not popping up. Larry, are you there?
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Thank you, Larry. He actually had a press conference and talked for a couple hours about his connection to Donald Young, the guy who had a homosexual relationship with Barack Obama, that his mother even admit they were sexually involved, intimately involved, she said. Coronavirus patient is in the intensive care of a local hospital, Dr. Mohammed Malai in Qom. Testing for the COVID-19 has not been happening much. Okay, local reports are coming in. We'll have that video about Pete Buttigieg later, faking black supporters. Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff coming in, and we've got a lot of things at us at all times. Yeah, Larry, we have to play Larry to appease a certain group of people. You have to understand, a part of the growth of this effort has been to play both the negative and the positive sides of media, and we have people that do the same thing over and over again just to troll our show. But I certainly don't cater to those people. I give them whatever they want because, frankly, it's a break for me.
Hickok 45.
Okay, today we got Hickok 45. He's going to be delivering his how-to 17-minute video on the 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. Yeah, so it's going to be a 44 Magnum day. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Yeah, I tend to believe that climate change is a hoax. What it is weather modification. The people that the Democrats support are actually polluting the skies above us by dumping chemicals in the air. And this is the new patriotism for some screwy people. They believe that, America should be sprayed on. Okay, here's the story about the city of Qom in Iran. Per local reports, many Iranian doctors are misinformed about the coronavirus. Medical staff do not understand the severity of it. Testing availability is scarce. The medical personnel at Qom's hospital infectious disease department, where the 2 patients have died in the photo, they're not even wearing masks. Huh. And someone said they're not wearing the right protection, biohazard. This is bad. Where is who to provide for them? I'm tired of listening to them talk about their concerns about the weak health system. Yeah. World Health Organization hasn't done enough. You have been muted. And here it says hospitals have only 10 beds at the most here for infectious disease. Some just have 1. Every single city and mayor needs to start designating now what facilities can be converted for the sick to that hospital's patients. Yeah, definitely. Get on it. Who has been downplaying the seriousness of the coronavirus? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. I get the message. He says he came to Iran several years ago, claims to have symptoms of COVID, but the hospital won't admit him to be tested, one guy says. Wow. Okay. That's another link. So I'm sorry that page doesn't exist, that link to that man. If true, the one lady you didn't go to China and got it, you might have a problem. All the people that came here, Donald Trump brought into the country has potentially endangered all of us. 8 Ball's on a... 8 Ball needs some adjustments. So Mike Pence is putting out some stuff on Twitter. I guess he finally realized that he's in the driver's seat for the presidency. He better start tweeting. Okay. Mike, what you got? So God made a farmer. Let's take a look. Dun, 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 dun.
In paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need...
Hey, that'll be good for later. I can't play that. They'll monetize me. Whew. Oh, God made a farmer. Wow, yeah. Mike Pence really hitting home with the Iowa farmer. Iowa's over, Mike. Oh, that's right. They don't need a primary. Republicans have it locked up. Yeah, I don't have any problem with Donald Trump pardoning Rod Blagojevich, and I certainly would have pardoned Roger Stone because I felt that no justice was served here. I would have overtaken this. Trump didn't even want to pardon Stone after his friend has been serving jail time all this time. I thought that was a little weird. It's like Trump's trying to cover his ass at all times. I would have pardoned Roger Stone because what he did was, he did show willful objection to the rule of law by lying, but at the same time, there was no lead on those WikiLeaks. They were pursuing a false lead. He tried to bribe a juror. Well, that's wrong. That's worth a year in jail. Okay.
He got 45.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, push and toe. But I mean, there was no evidence that the WikiLeaks were connected at all to Roger Stone. There was no evidence of that. So that's something we have to worry about. Uh-oh. Hair Club for Men founder Cy Sperling is dead at age 78. Wow. Now let me guess. Heart attack? Uh-oh. This is seriously messed up. Cy Sperling, the legendary promoter of Hair Club for Men, has passed away. Wow. Sperling died in Boca Raton after lengthy illness. Okay. His career began in the late 60s when he began balding. He was a swimming pool salesman in New York who'd grown tired of wearing toupees, so he announced his new plan to build up his hair.
If you're concerned about your thinning hair, call Hair Club for Men and receive our free brochure.
I'm sorry, I can't play that for fear they're going to monetize me.
And remember, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Oh, that's great. Cy Sperling passed away, everyone. Thank you for your service to hair and the future of Hair for Men and their egos, because men don't like to have missing hair. I have 2 wigs, but I don't wear them. If I need them, I wear them. But right now, this is my hair. You couldn't pull on a a wig and have it. Right. It's kind of a pinhead look right now with a point. Yeah, it's a great catchphrase. Good memories. But meanwhile, we're getting sprayed with chemicals. So don't you think it's important to talk about the technology that has brought us? Yeah. The reason why you're losing your hair is because they're spraying you like an insect. Many of you are suffering from early male balding. And premature loss of hair is definitely linked to environmental factors. Does the government take any concern about that? No. Do they care at all that they're spraying you? No. In fact, NASA has admitted it. I can't go on a cruise. I'm sorry. Are you inviting me on a cruise? No, I can't go. I'm slated for someone else.
All right.
Yeah, so they've been dumping chemicals on us for years. It's like dumping on the people. Even your hair has high levels of strontium in it from standing outside. One guy actually took his hair follicles and analyzed it and came up with the specific amounts of chemicals in his hair. I think it was Mike Decker. I think it was Mike Decker, yeah. Wyoming. And he found high levels of barium and aluminum in his hair. Which is really shocking, when you think about it. Chemtrails over mountain. Yeah, whenever you want to find something, you never do. Dang. Hey, would I like to freak you out about chemicals in the air right now? No. It's not that important. Come on, Mike. It's an environment. That's probably the problem. No. Yeah, there's not much I can do for you there. The sun can have a big effect on our hair as well. This blast will definitely affect your head. So staying indoors, avoiding the sun, living like a small rodent, hiding from the world, that's the way to look good. Yeah, and with a $500 plan per month, you too will be able to stay in a tent somewhere off the freeway. John Denver, yeah, he was famous for Rocky Mountain High. I heard he was pretty depressed when he died. Well, who wouldn't be depressed when they're dying, right? But no, he was depressed prior, and many people believe that he got drunk on that flight. I looked at his transcript. I thought maybe they took him out because his dad was a test pilot for Area 51. Super Saver has a very serious, disturbing theory that this is a bioweapon being moved around purposely. You got to wonder, why else would Donald Trump allow so many people to come into the United States who were infected?
Поки що я бачу 6 авто. Через дим складно говорити, дуже сильний дим.
Wow.
Осередки вогню досі не погашені. Поки що я бачу 6 автобусів, 7.
Wow. So they're purposely bringing people into Ukraine from Wuhan and contaminating the population. It does seem like it's a bioweapon now that they're purposely transmitting. It's for depopulation. The goal is to get rid of the population. Yeah. Sure, why not go with that theory? That's if there really is a bioweapon. Or we can go with the possibility they're just hoaxing us, and this is all just a big scam.
Поки що застрягли в автобусі, його не пропускають. Просто люди, правоохоронці намагаються їх відмежувати.
Could we get a translation? Any of you Ukrainians can tell us what they're saying? Well, maybe he wanted to die. The fact is, John Denver's contract with RCA Records was canceled when John Denver said he didn't want to remix it with new instrumentation and whatnot. a lot of the record companies were trying to re-engineer music to make more money, and John Denver said no, he didn't want to do it. And then, of course, Annie broke up. He walked in on Annie, you know, that song Annie. He walked right in on her having sex with another man. Oh yeah, it was horrible. We'll bring you John Denver tonight, Annie's song, just so you know. This man loved her, and then he lost her, and then one of his last performances was Annie's song, and I think he was depressed during this time period in his life too. Yeah, so he had lost her, and then lost the RCA contract, and then he was drinking heavily. He didn't talk about it. The thing is, his plane required he was a highly seasoned pilot. His dad had been a test pilot for Area 51. Okay. That's a South Park joke. I don't want to make a joke of somebody's death. Yeah, that's why he wanted it the raw sound. He didn't want it mastered. Right. No, John Denver was a straightforward guy. He still has a daughter living, but she lives under an assumed name, and I don't want to talk about her because I want to protect her privacy. Hey, we've got a Backwoods Bandit, another liquor store situation from Scissor Fight. Thank you, Scissor Fight. The Backwoods Bandit favorite trip.
You guys, welcome back to another episode of Gas Station Encounters.
He has videotape of all these people who try to take gas and run. Okay, we got more stuff from Eric Holder. Lashes out investigative reporter Paul Sperry for posing left-wing prosecutor who let McCabe off the hook. Oh, for exposing the left-wing prosecutor. Huh. Interesting. Well, I don't have a problem with McCabe being released, so I don't know what the big deal is. You Republicans don't realize that Andrew McCabe did nothing wrong, and Donald Trump pulled his entire retirement. He worked for, 25 years and gets his retirement pulled by Trump because he's pissed off? I mean, what a joke. Yeah, really. This is why Trump eats so much fast food. Okay.
Is his serious love of fast food. You might even call it an obsession. But how did this obsession start? And why has it carried with him all the way to the presidency? Here's the secret behind Trump's love of fast food.
How do you do it? What's your secret?
You know, this love affair with fast food is not something I want to encourage, so I'll play this later in the show too. Yeah, I don't eat fast food, and I feel better for it. I've had a few times where we'll stop and get something on the road when we're traveling, but as a rule, I don't eat fast food. You don't like fast food either, I guess? 222. 222. Yeah, they're losing lots of air mass are missing in South Korea and China. People are just inventories are dropping rapidly. Yeah, there's a huge mass run on toilet paper, from what I understand as well. No, Jimmy Savile, you are allegedly a murderer. What are you doing here? Wow. Sir Jimmy Savile, the late Jimmy Savile, was accused of pedophilia and child murder. And he comes in our show and he accuses me of something. Okay, I guess we're good there too. It's just almost impossible to keep up with all the things that are going on. It's so much easier just to put our head in the sand and forget about it all, But this is a serious case. These two kids are missing. The mother has been arrested, and she is possibly involved in a cult. I hope these kids are alive. They seem like great kids. The parents are absolutely the worst possible. Anyway, allegedly. she's now 17 and he's, 9? They fled to Hawaii and she was just arrested. And they still won't produce their kids. Now, they can't find the kids. If they can't find the kids, that's not a murder. They're a missing person, so that theoretically they could claim, their kids are just missing. It's a very tricky legal battle. What is the name of the cult debut? Keeping this, but never mention the name of the... I don't know. That's the thing. They talked about them being a cult, and I can't get any more information about the cult, but there's 3 other mysterious deaths. It says here, and I'm going to quote, Lori and Chad became the target of a national media firestorm with the revelations that police are also investigating the mysterious deaths of both of their previous spouses and Lori's brother, as well as many family members, claiming that they're members of a dangerous doomsday cult. Yeah. A close friend of Lori's recently revealed that she's been trying to stay out of the public eye as she waits for the media hype to die down. Law enforcement say they are keeping tabs on Lori and Chad's location, but now they've arrested Lori. They finally had enough to charge her with endangerment because she didn't produce her kids. That's not really Sir Jimmy Savile. That was a person pretending to be... Jimmy Savile died, Jacob. Yeah, it's satanic stuff, yeah. I know. Thanks for coming in. I mean, you're tuning into our show. I'm glad you got an interesting conversation going on about cultic activities, because that's pretty weird when a mother and father don't produce their kids for 2 months now. The grandmother started getting worried in December. Put out an all points bulletin, pretty much. Yeah, so she's obviously an attractive woman, and her activities are being, really questioned as to what's going on here. Obviously capable of handling herself in situations. Where are her kids? This is something I don't know if we can really... Well, when we found out that China deployed 40 mobile incinerators to the Wuhan area, with 2,000 people dead, it takes 4 hours for one body to incinerate. You can imagine why they would have 40 incinerators. So I can imagine 2,000 people would be hard to actually get rid of without having proper methods of getting rid of them. Yeah, so they've come under fire for sending these mobile incinerators out. Hey, if you see these in your neighborhood, you may not want to hang around very long. You know? Honey, the mobile incinerators just arrived in our neighborhood. What? Yeah. Apparently they're better than the FEMA barges because they go right to your door. The FEMA barges might even have these things on board. Well, Trump Tardican, I don't think that we need to recommission anything. I think you just saw 40 mobile incinerators that they make in China. Each one is made out of a container. Yeah, it's nice, huh? Very dark. They've deployed the incinerators to deal with the virus. They're sanctioned for use. They were tested and they're ready to go. Well, yeah, with a kill rate of over 2,000 now and over 75,000 infected, they've definitely got a reason to have these mobile incinerators. Yeah, I'm glad that Bloomberg didn't do too well in the race. He came out pretty flat. Nobody really cared about what he said. The whole idea of why China would create a bioweapon has really been bothering me lately. Yeah, I know that we have bioweapons in our country, and we've been doing that for some time, but do we really want to be trading with a nation that harvests people's organs because they don't have a religion that doesn't match the government line? Or that exploits child labor to create cheap products? Do we really want to keep this love affair with Chinese trade going? I mean, in a way, that Donald Trump may have paved the way for a slow disenfranchisement of our entire relationship with China. I mean, we've got other trading partners in Asia. It's not like we need China. Yeah, I mean, we can easily get South Korea does great. Singapore has outstanding production. Yes, people are still exploited in other countries. I'm not arguing that, but if China is going to behave like this to creating a bioweapon that could kill so many people, is that a country we want to have friendship with? I mean, think about it. Donald, if you're watching, I want you to continue your trade war with China and at least attach some human rights contingencies to the trade agreement next time. If you're watching, Donald. And all those pictures we saw of all the terrible deaths, are they real, or were they filmed at Disneyland Studios? You know, are we really sure this is going on, or is this make-believe? Hey, here's a good one. Remember those old laser discs that are now bringing in lots of money if you have collectible laser discs? Yeah, this one wasn't even sold to the public, but really did exist. I'm going to show you one. We're at a tech show for laser discs. Yeah, the ancient technology that now is kind of amazing. People still have them, and they're quite collectible. Techmoan. We'll have that feature tonight. Thank you. Who the hell is Trump working for? No one knows. I do. Yeah, it's a group of elitists that control the world. They have his number. He's got the number. Yeah, this same guy that's been funding Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and now Pete Buttigieg. Len Blavatnik works for Oleg Deripaska. And ironically, this guy is claiming that, what's really weird is he's claiming that the U.S. money laundering accusations is a mishmash of total nonsense. Then why did he pull Nastia out of an airport in Moscow when she claimed she had nothing but proof that would show that Donald Trump was completely controlled by the Russian oligarchs and had proof that they rigged the election in favor of Donald Trump? If he really believes this is a mishmash of total nonsense, why would he grab her out of the airport and insist she give him all the evidence she had that could have been used as exculpatory evidence in the case that Robert Mueller investigated? Because this whole thing smells like a rat. Every bit of it. The Russians have been manipulating our election and been pushing their agenda and trying to control it from within. And you retardicans have been supporting this and have allowed this to happen. You need to be blaming yourself for what's to come. Trump making more bad decisions about where to take people with the Wuhan virus. You'll wonder, gee, how did that happen? I didn't know they were going to do that. Wow, why did those people get infected? Because Trump is clearly unable to make a good decision about anything. He's completely lost. You know, if you really want to avoid a virus, the best thing to do is to stand out in the sun for a while. Look at that beautiful sun. Just feel the rays. Wow, pretty cool. I'm getting a suntan right now as I'm sitting here. Isn't that amazing? Wow. That was wild. Wild and crazy. You're in Maine? Oh, really? What do you want to have happen in Maine is Maine will not legalize marijuana. Yeah, that's been a problem. Well, LePage refuses to accept the legislation they lay out. Well, I'm glad you live in Maine, but you guys legalized marijuana, what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and LePage won't even allow anybody to build a shop. It's ridiculous. That man literally needs some guidance from above. That's why legalizing marijuana would really help. The sun is electric, really. It's a giant capacitor. I met a person online who believed that the sun is a Stargate. Or wormhole, yeah. Yeah, I met a guy named Doug Vogt online. He was the guy who was the official who looked at the long-form birth certificate that Barack Obama had. And very, very intelligent guy. He knew all about the photoshopping that the document had. Barack Obama's birth certificate was photoshopped. He proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he had a conversation with us. It's in our archive in our radio shows. But Doug Vogt is also remarkable in that he wrote a book about how the sun is, in fact, a Stargate. Yeah. I haven't read that book, but it should be an interesting read, I'm sure. Yeah, it's legal to have weed in Maine, but do you have any retailers opening doors? Super Dave? I have yet to see retail opportunities for people in Maine yet. Oh, really? Okay, great. Good to know. Well, LePage must have been clear. In the past couple months, he must have cleared the way for it. Okay, I stand corrected. Good. Marijuana legalization in the state of Maine is on its way. Great. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, California, it's the same thing. You know, you're paying a lot more, though, in some states. We're paying the lowest because we're one of the first states in Washington to have legalized it. And the technologies that are now available for people who smoke marijuana are pretty amazing. Yeah, there's some portable vaporizers where people who are worried about getting, you know, resin in their lungs. Alternative vaporizers that have been coming out there, some of the early ones like the Volcano. This technology first hit the scene, and the company that made these products, you know, basically there's no resin in the high from this. The companies that made these products found that, you know, it was so effective that they could produce smaller units. And they created personal weed vaporizers. So now you can get these things to run at a certain temperature that give you the net effect of having no resin, but getting the benefits. So as legal marijuana comes into existence, and of course I want to legalize it nationwide, as legal marijuana comes into existence, these types of units will become very prevalent. Because there's absolutely no threat to your lungs if there's no resin coming into it. And the THC has been proven to be very, very beneficial. So, oh yeah. The Volcano's too much. These things run at 189 degrees centigrade. It's amazing. I mean, and the temperatures get really high, but they are able to pull the THC off and leave the resin behind. So you dump that out and it goes into a compost heap. Pretty cool. And these technologies are going to be very good for all of us because marijuana has proven to be medicinal. Now, if the president got his head out of his butt and realized that, you know, we have to legalize this, that'd be great. But we've got a president that's living in the 1960s in his head, his mind. I mean, it's like he's still back there in the 60s. Trump would be considered a square by 60s standards. He's not cool or hep in any way whatsoever. So you people that support Trump are kind of like squareheads. Yeah, I cannot even go back in time and look at the history of Trump and what he's doing and how he's denying. But he basically admitted the entire Ukraine scam. He pretty much admitted that he did it. So now we have a president that admitted he did it and is doing it again. This time in the state of New York, holding back valuable immigration rights to New York, claiming that he doesn't want his tax returns investigated by New York, using the power of the presidency to keep New York from investigating him for tax evasion. That's total quid pro quo and totally wrong. But again, and what's even more disturbing is Trump is also holding back $30 million worth of guns and ammo to the Ukrainian government after they already paid for it. Which means that Trump is still trying to stifle Ukraine in their war against Russia. Can you believe this? It just goes on and on. Oh, I've ignored Jacob's video. I'm sorry, Jacob. Thank you. Bruce sees all. Massive UFO approaches the moon, spiraling, catches on fire live in 5K. Wow, that looks good. Thanks, Jacob. I didn't mean to ignore you there. Sorry. Yeah, that looks very good. We're looking at some of these pictures. I can't wait. You can't really get a good picture of things when they're in the middle of space, but hey, there's something there. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'll play it later. And to recap, William Barr is still in flux here. Lindsey Graham basically implicated William Barr. Again, this is from an intelligencer perspective that Lindsey Graham claims that William Barr is unaware that Rudy Giuliani can't act as Donald Trump's personal attorney and still run around doing deals for our national interest. And Lindsey Graham is behaving like he doesn't even understand the law now. Very strange. William Barr has not resigned, but he said he doesn't want Trump to tweet anymore. Trump doesn't care. He's going to tweet anyway. Right-wing activists discuss wiretapping Seth Rich's family. 3 people in the room say. You know, I don't doubt that at all, but the fact is Seth Rich really was the source of the WikiLeaks, and not one person in our government is looking into this. The Seth Rich family and defendants request testimony from Julian Assange, but Podestas and Richard Leone, a guy who knows the Podestas, has refused to allow the Seth Rich family and defendants testimony from Julian Assange. So it's weird. It's like they're shutting down information gathering at the highest levels. And we now have unequivocal proof that the FBI is hiding records about Seth Rich. This story, I'll give you this read. It's a pretty long read, but how is Amber? Amber's great. Well, for a 17-year-old cat, let me just say she walks around and kind of looks at the ball, and, you know, sometimes she's excited, like when she has a bowel movement, but that's about it. Yeah, she's 17. It just, you know, she just sleeps a lot. We're hoping she lives a few more years. She's really a great cat. But yeah, weird stuff. FBI holding back information on the Seth Rich case. Very strange. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I think every cat, when they get old, really struggles. Our cat has Parkinson's, feline Parkinson's. We give her CBD oil, which helps quite a bit, CBD oil. Just a little bit, a few drops. Too much can cause, loose stools. So, but yeah, this whole Seth Rich thing is a complete cover-up by the government at every level. So whatever Seth Rich ran into that led to his death led to the WikiLeaks, which now are being shunned and they're trying to cover everything up. So not only did the government not look into the WikiLeaks related to Hillary Clinton, they didn't really look into the WikiLeaks related to John Podesta. They didn't really look into the WikiLeaks as they applied to the Russian involvement. It's like they don't want to really know anything about anything, because I believe our government right now is being controlled by the very people that put Donald Trump in office, and they don't want to talk about anything. So even Trump distanced himself from Julian Assange, acted like he didn't even care, and now would probably, I don't see him pardoning Julian Assange, do you? Yes, I do agree. From a Freudian perspective, I do believe the accident my mother was in had a profound effect on me. I agree. I don't dispute that. My mother was in a car accident when I was 5 years old, and it changed her perspective on life completely. No, it's not. The fact is, you don't need a vet to decide what your cat is eating as long as it's not poison. If I relied on a vet, my cat would have been dead a long time ago. My cat came to me with chlamydia that she got from her mother in the birthing canal. She didn't, have unnatural relations. That poor cat was 1 out of 10 cats to survive the mother. Probably the only cat that survived her mother. And when we found her, we took her to a vet, and the vet actually charged us $100. Hey, Glenn. Good to see you in, man. The vet charges $100 to tell us that the cat was going to die in a year or less. I said, well, what about antibiotics? Well, it won't help, she said. So I said, screw that. I went online. I looked up chlamydia. Yeah, it's been a long time. I hope you're okay out there in Florida. Cool. No, Ukraine does not need to surrender to Russia. You are such a Trump tart, Super Dave. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the cat had chlamydia, and I looked it up. It's curable. It was curable. You're doing great. That's good to know. You must have like 5 kids by now. Great. Anyway, I gave the cat an extended dose of antibiotics that the vet wouldn't give me. I ordered fish biotics and gave the cat fish biotics in the food. And it worked. Chlamydia went away. Yeah, they proved, and I asked the doctor, did you know this? And she said, no, I don't think you're right. I said, well, when did you get your degree? 1975, UC Davis. Well, back then they thought the chlamydia was a virus. They found out now it's just a really bad bacteria. And a 15-day course of antibiotics worked. They were standard antibiotics, not some special antibiotic. I don't associate with women who are slutty, Howie. I learned a long time ago in my life that that lowers your view of people when you hang out with those types of people. It makes you feel like you're cheap and you're some scumbag yourself. So I would urge you not to hang around those women. Okay? Thank you. I never realized that, some women who are loose or, as they say, promiscuous, they don't realize that they're hurting guys left and right. See, guys would like to be in a relationship and not be treated like some one-night stand. Women don't want to be treated in one-night stands either. But when you show more respect for people, you don't run into that. But occasionally, women will just like flaunt it in your face. It happened to me. Oh, definitely. I knew a woman. Thankfully, I wasn't involved with her, but I never kissed her or anything. But she was so interested in me. She played a head trip where she thought she could act slutty around me with other guys and make me jealous. Well, it's a terrible head trip that women will do. And I just didn't fall for it. I just said, no, I'm not going to get involved with a person like that. If you do, you're asking for it. Yeah, I can't imagine liking Trump at this point after he just let all these contaminated coronavirus people into our country. I mean, what's wrong with you Trump tards? Yeah. Yeah. Super Saver just said a lot. Yeah, Seth Rich still unsolved. Julian Assange still detained. Michael Flynn still at trial. Roger Stone still convicted. James Comey still free. Andrew McCabe still free. Jeffrey Epstein still unsolved. Peter Strzok still free. Lisa Page still free. Bruce Orr still at work. Trump hasn't done anything to stop the deep state. He just all talk and no go. Well, the fact is America and Ukraine have a common bond that we created when both the U.S. and the EU worked together to give Ukraine an opportunity toward democracy. Originally, the European Union, or I should say the European Central Bank, offered Ukraine $35 billion to get out of their financial crisis they were in. Russia was offering $15 billion. This is like 5 years ago. 6 years ago, under Obama. And that whole process, basically Ukraine said, well, we'd rather have 35 billion than 15 billion. So they turned to the EU and the European Central Bank and said, yeah, we'll take your deal. It totally upturned their government and everything changed. They had a massive corruption problem that they had to deal with. They never got the 35 billion. They only got $17 billion from the European Central Bank. And the U.S. Has never really given them money directly, just through military aid and our foreign aid that we give almost all the other countries. But we never really funded that initial funding. In any event, now they literally require our assistance to maintain an ongoing border crisis with Russia. So I really don't think we should abandon them when they're trying to build a democracy, and they have a very good president. Zelensky is actually proven to be a very enabled, thinks on his feet quickly, makes good decisions for his people. And he denies that his country has a corruption problem now, because Trump is running around saying, oh, the Ukrainian corruption is terrible, it's terrible, oh, it's terrible. It's not. They actually got it under control, and we should see them as our ally, but Donald Trump wants to blame everything on Ukraine instead of Russia. He's still playing that tune, and there's absolutely no proof that Ukraine influenced our election during 2016. There's an immense amount of proof that the Russian government influenced our election in 2016. That much we know for sure. So I'd probably end the show with a little clip from Bernie Sanders when he was visiting the Soviet Union in 1988, when he had his first job. This puts Bernie Sanders in perspective. He had his first job as mayor of Burlington. He'd never worked really a major job. He just little odds and ends up until then. And he had his first job. So what did he do? He went over to USSR at the time and had a big, huge festive event with the communists. And he denies being a communist. Bernie Sanders has communist written all over him. So I'll play that after our show here. No, I played Larry. Yeah. Larry played. You missed it. Yeah, we need to help our homeless problem, not just give money to other countries. I agree. But I don't think Donald Trump wants to take the money we give to Ukraine and help the homeless. That's not something he's planning on doing. Okay. What really upsets you, Glenn? We're always worried about other countries. Yeah. We can't even help ourselves. Good point, Glenn. Solid. All right. Reptoid found some terrible things going on here. Yeah, in the Bible. Wow. Okay, this is David Spahn. I'm signing off again. We'll be back tomorrow with our Freedom Friday show. Freedom show. I made a really great dinner tonight. I was shocked at how good it tasted. And you'll see that uploaded tonight after 2 in the morning. So don't wait up for it. It was an oyster shrimp primavera. Very tasty. All right. Thank you again for coming in. See you again later. Bye.
to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just turn my world around, cause you're the peace I find. Found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good.